Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning and welcome back, Peter, man. Good to have you. How are you today?
Good morning, Carlos. I'm happy to be back. Can I say, though, do we have sound in the chat room? I'm not seeing any sound. I'm not sure they can hear us. No, I can't hear you.
You should be able to hear me. Can you hear me? You should be able to.
I can hear you now.
Okay, excellent. All right, let me reset the chat room here and bring these guys back. See if that works. Usually the chat room is our biggest issues at times. All right, we're going to go and just close everything out, restart the browser. We'll do all that fun stuff. All right, over on YouTube, you should hear us perfectly fine. Good morning, good morning. Good to see all you guys there. Just be patient with us as we get back into the chat room here. Let's see if this works. So one sec. All right, let's try that again. Here we go, here we go.
This was my glorious return I was hoping for.
I tell me about it, man. The system can't take it. The system is like, is that Peter? What's happening? All right, well, here we go. Back in, agreed. And let's try it again. So, yeah, not working. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to try a couple of more things. And I'm not restarting my computer. That would take forever. So we're not going to do that. Yeah, so no.
I didn't do it, guys. I didn't break it. I'm minding my own business over here.
Yeah. We'll try one more thing. I don't like quitting so easy. Let's do one more thing. One more thing here. Let's do it again. All right, let's see if this works. Let's see if that works there. I see bars moving,
there you
so
go.
That should be good. Okay, excellent, excellent. All right, let's hit the reset button. Welcome back, Peter. Good to have you, man. The system couldn't take it. You coming back. I started acting a little funky. So, oh my God, is that Peter? Was acting weird. But we exactly overly excited. We got you here going, man. How was your trip, brother?
It was great. Look, because we have market data, why don't we jump right in and then I'll tell you about my trip. So, because we did have some data that came out just a few minutes ago here. We got it all populated. Earlier this morning, we had the NFIB optimism. That came out a little better than expected, which was a little bit of a surprise to the markets. We were looking good early on. We just had some new data came out, and the market got another little bit of a little boost, I guess, as the consumer price index, CPI data, both month over month and year over year came out. I mean, pretty close to targets. This is the increase in prices. Interestingly, it did not go up as much as anticipated in almost all cases, except for that core year-over-year number, which basically hit estimates. You can see the numbers on your screen, and there we go. So, yeah, relatively uneventful because we really don't have any other economic data today, which is good because I need to get back into the groove of this because, like we were talking about, I've been off for almost 2 weeks now. And it's when you're on a good vacation and everything feels like a distant memory. Everything feels like a distant memory. So, anyway, so there's your economic data. I've got my race shirt on. You can see that I'm back, baby, and I successfully completed my my marathon. So that was the activity number one. With it, we wanted to do the purpose of our trip. There's Mike and I, fresh-faced and eager to take on the challenge of the marathon at the start line. Repping Bearable Traders, and we did it again at the finish line. There's us beaten and broken at the finish line. So this would be the early hours of the morning. As you can see, dawn is just breaking with the street lights still on. and then here's like midday as we finish. So hey, we did it. We got it done. Mike and I were then happy to enjoy the rest of our vacation in France. Lovely country, by the way. Never been to France before. Absolutely loved our trip to France. It was great. Paris, I especially like Paris as a city. It was fantastic. So, anyways, we could talk about Paris later. But there you go. So I got the medal, by the way, to prove it. Here's my medal. So I'm
Very
officially
nice.
a medalist in a marathon. Didn't do any type of record time, but hey, I got the hardware. That's all that matters. Off we go. So
Yeah, yeah. Good, man. Good. Glad to see that. All right, friends, let's get to it. Our gappers list this morning, tons of stuff in the green today. As we saw yesterday, a couple of big numbers on here, usually driven by lower flow stocks, as you're seeing here as well. So under all of them look like under 40 million shares flow with some real low ones up towards the top. And then on the downside of things, we got a couple as well. United Health leading the way. A lot of stuff happening with United Health. Not good there with their CEO and all that. So we'll get into all that. And then Rigetti and some other ones as well on deck. ASTS. This one's been on our list almost every day this last couple of weeks or so, right? So we'll see what's happening there. Pins. Yeah, go ahead.
you're gonna have to dial me back in as to what's been happening. I've been so out of the loop. I realize in Europe, again, credit to everybody that trades in a different time zone because it is really tough. Admittedly, I was sightseeing, so like when the market opens or when this show started, it was always like 2:30 in the afternoon. 3:30. You're out doing things. I'm never sitting sitting around. So it was hard to pay attention to the markets. So it's good to be back in my native time zone, and I could get back to trading. Got to make some money to pay for all the vacationing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. So yeah, some of these stuff been on here back and forth. Usually, lower flow stocks are making some kind of appearance. Like I think it was ASTS the one that was up like $600 yesterday. I don't know if it was that one, but yeah, we've been seeing some low flow activity. But for the most part, man, it's all tariff. Nothing has changed. It's all about tariffs.
Still tariff.
And now
All
with
right.
with China kind of talking to the U.S. over the weekend. Things are looking pretty good as far as the upside here. So we'll see how things turn out. Although we gapped up, a lot of stuff gapped up yesterday. It was not the easiest trading day. So we'll see how it turns out today. We'll see what's driving it. All right, on this gappers list, let's take a look at the first one here, HCWB. So we'll see what's dropping. I'm not moving this one. We are up 70% right now. Hard to borrow, SSR. So it has all the flags that I don't like on this one. The first couple of ones that are on here, you're going to see are low flow stocks. I'm going to move to them very quickly. Again, they're great for entertainment purposes, but I won't be trading anything like this. This thing from $5 to 11, 13, now back down to 8. Again, pre-market, guys, there's no volatility holds, just a reminder. So be extremely cautious with this one. So this HCW Biologics, Peter, not sure if anything that clearly in play, not sure what's driving it today.
It's a biotech, which means they have the usual type of news. They had a drug that's doing well, positive results on their HCW 9206 compound. And that's good news for them. This is a stock, though, that went through a 1-for-40 reverse split about a month and a half ago, so 6 weeks ago. So, yeah, basically divide that price by 40, and you're getting sort of the actual price of this stock, which means it's really about a 15-cent stock. I would move on. Not something I want to trade. But if you're a low-flow trader, this could be a good one today.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the next one on here, LCIN. LCIN. Oh, did I get that right? I don't think so. Oh, no. LICN. Excuse me. So LICN. This is up 70%, 6.3 million shares traded. Very interested in daily, as you can see here. Pre-market actions got some volume. And I believe we've seen this before. The name sounds familiar, but again, low flow stocks sitting at, I'm showing less than 1 million shares flow. So again, not something I'm interested in, Peter. I won't be watching this one. Your thoughts on
it? No. Lake in China, they had a reverse stock split and a name change. Nothing shady going on there. They did a 1-for-200 reverse stock split. So again, penny stock here, and decided to change their name at the same time. I am not, I'm running away from this one.
Yeah, something fishy going on there. All right, let's move on to the next one, friends. Is going to be LGT. LSEA. So LSEA, yes, this one on here. We are up 59% right now, so 60%. Looks ugly though. I don't know where this volume is. Like if you look at this 5-minute, this doesn't look good at all. Yeah, I have no interest whatsoever in this ticker. I'm gonna move on, Peter, unless you have anything to add. Landseed Homes. What do you do? Homes,
Yeah.
land.
As soon as I see real estate, I usually avoid these. They don't trade well. You can see, just look at the price action we've got here. Yes, it's got just enough volume to hit our list and movement, but I've never seen one of these trade on an intraday basis well at all. So, not wasting any time on it.
Yeah, let's move on. Not good. I don't like it either. Heading down, guys. Again, we kind of saw this coming, right? The first couple of tickers on the list that have big gaps up. We've done 3 so far, all pretty crappy as far as our style of trading. Next one is going to be this one, ALZN. So ALZN, let's see, up 20%. Another one that doesn't look very well. Also, float on this one, 6.3 million shares flow, so not a good one. Again, I'm not a fan of it at all. So Alzheimer's, it's like Alzheimer's Neuro, looks like some Alzheimer's company.
Alzheimer's. I don't know. Yes, but yes, they do treat Alzheimer's. They do have a phase 2 clinical trial of their AL001. So you can tell if they're naming this AL001, this is their very first drug trial, at least I'm guessing. So yeah, the entire company stake is probably bet on this one. Again, potentially a low float, but yeah, buyer beware. It's going to be very, very choppy, very risky.
Yeah. All right, let's move on from that one. Don't like it. All right, so the first couple of tickers here, all low flow stocks, not doing so well. There's one more. Okay, one more low flow, AITOS. And this one also not looking too hot, guys. Up 15%, 900,000 shares traded. Just started to get going a couple of minutes ago. So the volume is pouring in. But again, just not looking all that great right now. So ITEOS Therapeutics. For you, it is.
Yeah, like I know I just got back from vacation, but I thought it was Tuesday today. Usually these biotechs all show up on Mondays. Has that changed too? Oh, be gone for 2 weeks.
You know, Monday was all about tariff and all. You had to see the gappers list, man. It was all, every ticker you possibly love was gapping up, although not all of them traded great with the news over the weekend. So I guess the low flow stocks say, hey, let's not do it today. Let's do it. Let's not do it yesterday. Do it today when we get all the attention, and they're definitely getting all the attention today. Let's scroll down. Okay. Let's scroll down. Let's go to some good stuff. Let's get to SE's garbage. I'm going to skip on that one. Let's get to Coin. Coin got some good stuff going on. And then we have Mara and some other ones down here. We have Clean Spark. So a couple of Bitcoin tickers. But today, Coin leading the way, Peter, with some very exciting news.
Do we? Oh, well, I better catch up on the news. What's happening with Coin?
Yeah. They're actually joining the S&P 500. So that's got them gapping up. Yeah, I was surprised to see that when I saw the headline. I threw it over there on YouTube, so that's on the title as well. But yeah, I was surprised to see that. I'm like, is this correct? What's going on? But yeah, they're joining S&P 500, so that's pretty good news.
You're right. Look at that. They will join the S&P 500 before they open on Monday, May the 19th. So not this week, but next week is when they jump. But now is when people tend to reshape their portfolios to reflect that change. So yeah, it's normal, I guess, that we'd get a little bit of a boost. That's interesting for Coin, I guess. Interesting that they're replacing. I see. They're replacing Discover Financial because it's being acquired by Capital One. So, with the closure of that deal, that leaves an available spot, and it looks like they've tapped Coin on the shoulder to say, "You're in, baby." So, yeah, there could be some interesting movement over the next couple of days. It's been hit or miss on these, right? As to whether this type of news will move a stock. Sometimes it really does. Sometimes you don't, right? I said there's usually like a little bit more volume as people try and add it to their respective, especially when you got tracing portfolios or you've got index funds, right, that need to sort of now add it into the mix. So we should probably see a little bit of increased volume. Hopefully it gives some good trading opportunity if you want to spend some time watching.
Yeah, I will throw it on my list. We'll see how it goes. Again, I like you mentioned, Peter, it might not actually do anything. The market is pretty stale right now. I mean, there's not a whole lot that's going on for the most part, given this gappers list. But I'll throw it on my list there. We'll see what we can get out of it. There is some other ones on here. Clean Spark also moving along. And I saw Mara. It just dropped off the list here. Might have went under 2%. So those also showing a little bit of movement. All right, I see Lunar is on here, Peter. Maybe because you're back, and if you're going to talk about it, it's doing well since you kind of promote this. They should be sending you a check, man, from all promotions on getting the stock some airtime.
Well, I find what they do fun. Trading them, not so much fun. They did have earnings this morning. Looks like they had, well, their numbers are supposed to be out, but I haven't actually seen it. I think they did a good quarter. Their dialogue is very positive, but every company always gives a very positive outlook, no matter what they actually delivered. So I haven't seen the numbers yet, but they've had a number of things happen in the last quarter. They're touting as very positive activity. We haven't heard about any more lunar landing vehicles toppling over. So recently, anyway. So that's good. They've got a whole list of highlights of things they've done in quarter. So good for them. That being said, not always a great trading stock, but one I just have fun observing. So that's that. The other one that does have earnings is JD. I saw it on our list as well, Carlos. JD can be a better stock to trade at times, especially with the news out of China, like you mentioned. A lot of trade news coming out, which is affecting it, positive or negative. I noticed that it had a big move up this morning. It's actually moving down right now. And while it was green, it's heading right back to yesterday's close. So definitely seems to be in play with almost 5 million shares traded already today. That's also on a strong earnings. So they actually had a good quarter despite everything, and beat their numbers top and bottom line, delivering about $1 billion more revenue than expected and about 12 cents over their earnings per share. So, I think I'll keep an eye on it today just to see what it does.
Yeah, actually looks very good, JD. I like that. I'm also looking at Baba up, down 1.2. So not as good. But JD actually looks good today, man. I think could be on the list this morning. So I like that. Yep. I'll put JD
Another earnings that's on the upside here was Under Armour, UAA. Now they do have two tickers out there. You can trade UA or UAA. Most people, I think, trade UAA. Tends to get the better volume. But that being said, it hasn't really done much so far this morning. They did have a surprise beat, though. I was expecting them not to have such a good quarter, but they actually beat their numbers. That being said, their dialogue, the information out of the company says that they're still struggling. They're still uncertain about what the future looks like. So I don't know how this one's going to trade today. Probably not super heavily in play. It's just not forefront of the news at the moment, despite having earnings. So thought I'd mention it, but I won't be spending much time watching it unless it does something really interesting after the open, but then it'll hit my scanners.
Yeah, agreed. We'll leave that one alone there. Another one that's actually just pulled up on our gappers list. And by the way, if you look at it closely here, this gappers list getting bigger and bigger. So more things are just sliding their way in here. You see MSTR, so a lot of the Bitcoin stuff. Are they just all rooting for coin? Is that what it is? It's kind of like hey, we're championing you into the S&P 500. Like, what's going on there? But SMCI is on here. We have not looked at this ticker in actually quite some time. At least I haven't. So today they're up 2.2, 820,000 shares traded. Again, they're not the easiest thing to trade. I do like their daily a little bit more than their actual pre-market activity. So I will put them on my secondary list just to see if there's anything that can come out of SMCI. So throw them on there and we'll see what that does in just a few minutes here. Peter, as far as the gap up, anything else you want to cover before we go to the gap down list?
On the gap up, no, not really. We sort of covered it. It does look like the entire Bitcoin sector, all the related stocks are getting a little bit of boost with the news of coin being added to the index. I'm not sure if that gives it legitimacy, but maybe, right? Maybe it means that more of these crypto focused companies can get added to more of the portfolios and the deep funds in terms of like mutual funds and other areas that, if they get held in that's actually good for their stock, because it provides a little bit of secondary based legitimacy to what they're doing. So we may see some movement in that space. But other than that, Carlos, I just got to get back into this, see what's happening. I noticed we haven't talked about like the Tesla. I don't know if it's been doing anything interesting. It looks like it's up. It's back over $300. That's good. That wasn't there when I left.
Yeah. That's right.
PLPR,
Yeah, things have getting a little bit of
moving?
a pop. Yeah, things have been getting a little bit of a pop. But again, a lot of positive news out there with deals being made with different countries. The Trump he landed yesterday in Saudi Arabia, I believe, right? So he's down there. So he's doing his thing.
Was
yeah,
he
a lot
like
going on.
gifted a plane by Qatar or something? Was that
Yeah,
like
he
an
managed to
actual
get a
thing?
free 747-800, which is pretty nice. Instead of buying one or building one from Boeing. Boeing is just so bad, man. Boeing, they promised to get this done like years ago, and they keep falling behind. So he went and got a free jumbo jet to be the Air Force One. It's just but Boeing just got
That's
to get it
odd.
together, man. Yeah,
That's an odd gift to give the leader of any nation, I would think. But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
all right.
So there it
Okay.
is.
But so Tesla looks like it's doing its usual stuff. We see some more. The tech companies seem to be going. The semiconductors are generally all moving up, and I notice AMD's up around what is it doing right now in terms of price? $109, $110. So okay, all right, I can trade it there. And most of the Magnificent Seven seem to be green this morning, except for Microsoft, which is just right. Everything else seems to be Apple. Sorry, Apple seems to be teetering on that line. So yeah, we'll hopefully we have a good day today. Has it been good trading in the last little while, Carlos, with all of this news, or has it just been
Yesterday
choppy?
was okay. Actually, no, last week was great, man. Last week we had a lot of good trading. Yesterday was all right. A lot of stuff went sideways. Like they just didn't know what to do with all the positive news. They gapped up, and it's like, where do we go from here? So if you look at many of the tickers I had on my list, at least they did something in the morning, and then a lot of sideways action. Just kind of, I guess they're in shock. Is this really positive news? Are we going to stay up here, or are we going to come back down? But the market seems to be holding, and we'll see where it goes. Nothing is free. It depends. There's some things that are free. For example, like if you own a jet, right? If you buy a jet and it costs you, I don't know, a couple of $1 million, and you give it away, you're actually saving money, because the amount to maintain that thing is going to bankrupt you. So have you guys seen, who was it? This person won a car. They won a Lamborghini from some star. They won it for free, and they got it. And in a couple of months, they had to sell it. Like, I can't afford to maintain it. So
Right.
this jet is very old. It's from the 19, who knows what the system is. To maintain this thing costs a nice, pretty penny compared to the newer stuff. So trust me,
Well, there you
it
go.
might sound like a gift, but they might be in for a whole lot of trouble on a used aircraft, right? You just don't know what you're getting, and it's not going to be cheap to maintain this. They might be looking at this, hey, we no longer got to pay this $100 bill every damn week, right? So trust me, you're right. Nothing is free, but this one particularly, they don't know what they're getting into, which I find it weird that Boeing just couldn't come up with a brand new jet for the president. Doesn't make
You know
sense
what
to me.
is free? What is free? Those little samples at Costco. Those are free. Although I guess you had to pay a membership to get into Costco to get the samples.
Nothing is free.
But they don't cost you anything.
Yeah, Peter, you know what is free though, and we hopefully you have something from overseas. Your rants are free. We don't charge for those. Maybe we charge for a
Those
like
are
over on
free.
YouTube. Those are completely free, I guarantee you. And when you hit that thumbs up, that is also free. We don't charge you for hitting that thumbs up over on YouTube. What happened over there? You got any grants from overseas, man? We'd love to hear
I,
something.
I got lots of rants, sure, but here's one just from my trip back. I have traveled with the same carry-on stuff for forever, and when I got to the Air France check-in, I unfortunately got, the guy said, put your bags in the holder, and I put my bag in the holder, and they fit. There's no problem. They fit perfectly, but his holder also had a scale. And the combined of my carry-on luggage and my laptop, which, laptop and monitors and stuff weigh enough. He said I was overweight, and he made me check my bag. And I'm like, I have traveled with that same relative luggage and weight, without exaggeration, hundreds of times on hundreds of flights, and it fits. It fit in their holder thingy, but he got me on weight, and I hated that. I hated that. Yeah, I know. Emily, that's that weight. Nobody ever. I mean, every airline has that weight restriction. Nobody ever measures it, but they did. What pissed me off even more is that after I checked my bag and came back, first I checked I already had a check bag, which was well underweight because I'd put stuff in my carry-on like I normally do. I could have made the weight if they'd let me, but they didn't tell me till too late. So, anyways, but then when I went back, there were clearly people going through with not only too many bags, but bags bigger than their little holder. They just waved them right through because it was just random, right? They just happened to catch me. So I'm just like that, and I know that just if you're gonna check everybody, right?
Yes.
I hate the randomization of it.
It's nothing random, man. That's such a BS. I did tell you the story about my friend who was he was Muslim. We used to work together for 12 years. I was at my previous company, and he had a Muslim name. A great guy, family man. I mean, the nicest guy you ever meet. And every time we travel to these warehouses, we travel a few times a year, he gets pulled over. Oh, it's random. I'm like, no, it's not, because I travel with him almost the same amount of time. You don't never pull me over. Now when I grew my beard and I came back from Mexico, yeah, I got pulled over. Like, yeah, come over here. So it's not random. It's just ridiculous. All right, let's get to it, friends. Let's take a look at our gap down list this morning and see what we got going on here. UnitedHealth leading the way. I mean, this company's just not doing so hot. Also, I know Trump's been pounding the overall health sectors and pharmaceuticals. I'm not sure how much it affects these guys, but you can see here, big drop. Issues with their CEO, Peter. What's the latest and greatest?
Well, I mean, it's tough to tell. Their CEO is resigning for personal reasons, is stepping down. And it's always tough to tell if it's really personal reasons or is that the excuse that they've agreed upon. Andrew Whitty, who is the CEO, is someone who's got long experience with the company. They should have some faith in him. But I mean, it could very well be personal reasons, or it might not be, right? Could be that he annoyed the board or, refused to do something that they asked, and therefore they're removing him, but allowing him to do it gracefully. Who knows? What matters is that he is stepping aside, and at the same time, they are taking the opportunity, I feel like, to call off their guidance. They said really that their healthcare costs have gone up much more than they expected, and therefore they are unable to predict what their balance of their year is going to look like, and they've just called off their guidance altogether. So it's really the pulling of the forecast, I think, that is causing this move more than the CEO stepping aside, because they've already announced the new person. It's someone who's been on the board for a while and has had a long history with the company. So there's not a lot new going on there. It's just a little bit of a shakeup of some of their executive team. I think it's really the guidance that is causing this to move. And like you said, Carlos, they made a surprising move up in the early part of this year, but this last month or so for them have not been good. And as you can see, they've dropped from roughly $600 to almost half that. Not quite, but pretty close to half that price. So definitely in play today. UnitedHealth, it can be a tough one, though, to get it to move intraday enough that you can get decent trading on it. So I'm probably going to watch it just in case it's one of those days. But I'll be, it'll have to be almost a perfect setup for me to actually try and take a trade on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve in a chat says he probably realized the hatred of being CEO of UnitedHealth. Oh, yeah. Listen, if you're going to be the CEO of this company, you better ask for like Secret Service type of security, or else you're not taking the job. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Got to be very, very careful given what has taken place there. All right, let's head back over here, friends. The next one is Rigetti. Rigetti also here gapping down a little bit, down 10%. Did have a nice pop-up yesterday, right, with everything else, just all the positive news over the weekend. But today, giving everything back after yesterday's action. So down 9.5, 3.8 million shares traded. Pre-market activity, not doing so much, right? A little bit flat as far as we see right now. But I think worth having on the list this morning, Peter.
Yeah, it looks like they had earnings last night, I assume, because they're not on my list for this morning. But they did not hit their targets. So they missed their Q1 revenue is what I see reported here. And you know what? Like, it's interesting that they missed their revenue, but we have to remember quantum stocks are not being judged or valued based on how much money they're making today. It's all about how quickly are you going to be able to get their flagship products to market, all this promised quantum computing activity, which is yet to happen. Remember that famously, right, the CEO of NVIDIA was saying that it was still decades away, and others have come up and said, well, maybe years, not decades. We'll see. But again, their short-term revenue, their short-term earnings really are not what dictate the price. So interesting that they missed, but not hugely relevant in the bigger picture.
Yep. We'll be on my list here, friends. We'll see where it goes today on the Rigetti. Oops, did I by mistake? There it is. SMCI and UNH on my secondary list here as well. All right, let's take a look. What else we got going on? So we have this is the one that was up like 600%. KDLY, right? This thing was popped up huge, and now it's just kind of slamming back down here. So gapped up, hit 32 from like 0. And then today we're just kind of selling down here a little bit. So second day play on this thing, hard to borrow, low flow stock sitting at 1.9 million shares traded. But again, I won't be watching this one. Fun for entertainment purposes, but for the most part, not something that's tradable. This is one of the high flying low flows we had yesterday. Peter, was up like 600% at one point. So really flying.
I can see that. I mean, they had a closing price just 2 days ago of like $3.90, and we're over 30 yesterday. What the?
Yeah, it's wild.
So they were merging with Nakamoto Holdings. Is that what that looks like? The news. All right.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, definitely weird. So we'll leave it alone. ENPH, we used to trade quite often in the past. ENPH, today they're down 4.7, 441,000 shares traded. I'm not sure. I haven't seen this ticker in a while, so I'm not sure how it has been trading. Again, it won't be on my list. I think I'll find something better to actually look at, Peter, unless you have any news that might be worth watching this one today.
Yeah, Enphase. We haven't heard from them in a while. They got looks like the IQ balcony solar system in Belgium. Okay, so they announced the launch of a new product in Belgium, which is going to help apartment dwellers and homeowners with limited roof space generate their own clean energy from balconies, patios, and small outdoor areas. All right, so it's a portable solar dish, sounds like. All right. I don't know how well that's going to sell, but that's the news. Literally, it's plug and play. So
yeah. Next down here is Hertz. We got pins and NVO. Next, we'll get through those. But Hertz right now, it is down 4%. Not the easiest stock to day trade. I heard a headline that used cars are becoming more in demand now, given the prices of new cars, right? So used cars more in demand. So I wonder how Carvana is doing, some of these companies. And I do see a lot. You know what I'm getting ads for, Peter, now? A lot of like rent cars for like the summer, like rent it for like 2 months, like really great deals to rent a car for 2 months. So interesting, like long-term rentals, which I never thought that was a thing, but I guess it could be. Rent a car for 2 months, right?
Instead of buying one. I mean, if you have a lot of travel planned and that's cost effective for you, I guess, why not? Hertz, it looks like they had earnings. It wasn't this morning, so yesterday after the close they had earnings, and they logged a lower revenue than expected, as well as a bigger loss than anticipated. So clearly the rental business is not doing all that well right now. They lost an extra 4 cents, so they're already expected to lose $1.08 a share. They lost $1.12. But that's better than the amount that they lost the same quarter last year. So whatever. But anyways, the revenues were also off, earning only $1.8 billion for the quarter versus the expectation around $2 billion. So Hertz. I don't like trading Hertz. I've watched it many times. Usually around earnings, it doesn't trade as well as I always think it should. So I'll probably be avoiding that this morning.
Yeah, same here. I haven't had any luck with that one. Last but not least is going to be our stock here, Pinterest. These guys are down 3.2, 470,000 shares traded. Again, they look messy actually in the pre-market. I don't like what I'm seeing as far as that goes. Earnings last night, maybe? I thought they had earnings a couple of days ago. Am I misreading this? I didn't
They
think
had
it
a
was
bunch of
yesterday.
downgrades.
Okay,
What
maybe
were
that's it. I
no?
thought.
It doesn't look like it was earnings. I mean, I see the news here. It looks like on Friday there was some big investors that pulled their investment. Um, Other than that, I'm not seeing a lot of
Hmm.
news on it. So, other than again, lowered targets by the analysts.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Doesn't look good. I don't like the way it looks in the pre-market. Daily might looks a little bit interesting, but again, this stock it's a really funky stock to day trade, so I'm going to stay away from it. And that covers our gap up and down, guys. Brought to you by tradingterminal.com. You can always get on here and check what's moving on these scanners. Our gap up list keeps growing. You can see a lot more names diving into that, but we'll get to those a little bit later if we do have time. Peter, before we leave the gap down, anything you like that we have not covered off this list?
I think we got everything that I was looking at. Speaking of lists, normally you have your watch list at the bottom of the screen. I see that's not showing. Is that just
It's still
what's
there.
happening?
You know, something went wrong with my vmix where a lot of these things are blank, and I
Okay,
can't tell. I cannot see what the preview is. You know, something you can see what the preview is. I can't
right.
see it, so I don't know what caused that. So I cannot find that one that
There it is.
shows the
Well, it
tickers.
was on
Oh, I
that
think I just
screen.
clicked it. There it is.
You just flipped through one screen.
Here it is. I
There
got
it
it. All
is.
right. So this number 96. We for those that don't know, we have 200 and something slides
There
on
he
the
is.
software.
Look
200
at
and
that.
something slides that we're managing on the back end. I mean, it is just insane.
Well,
But there it is.
that's not a we. That's you. So thank you for all
It's
that,
always we,
Carlos.
Peter. It's never me. It's
Yeah,
always we. Always
well,
we,
no,
brother.
I
so
appreciate that.
so there it is. I found it. So yeah, something
Okay.
glitchy is happening. We'll figure out why that's not showing properly. All right, let's see here, friends. We're all set. Let's go to our community events and announcements. You can always head over to barebootraders.com, friends. Click on webinars at the top, and you can see what's happening for the next 2 weeks. Today is beautiful Tuesday. As we welcome back Peter, let's see what's happening for this beautiful day.
Well, again, thank you for that. And everybody, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back. I had a great break. I said loved France, loved Paris, especially as a city, but happy to be back here and focused on the markets. Tonight we have our trade book and strategy webinars that we are doing, but it's not only at night. Sorry, is what I meant to say. It's during the day as well. We have 2 sessions for you during the day. If you look at the bottom of the screen right there, Phil and Nathan are each doing a session at 11 and 12 respectively. We're going to talk about the small account options trade book, how you can manage small account using options. Phil's going to focus on that and answer any questions that you have. Nathan at noon on Tuesdays likes to talk about Bookmap. It's a great tool, one that you can use to help visualize market volumes. It's just one of many tools that you could potentially use. And if you're interested in it or want to know more, then attend that session if you're an elite member with Nathan at noon in the webinar room. And then our signature event that's happening this evening, Thor is taking over the webinar room at 8 p.m., our usual time for the big events, which is going to be talking about the R4 and S4 breakouts. He loves to trade these. He does it almost every day where he finds opportunity, identifies it, usually takes a sort of a longer term entry and sticks to his guns, right? It's an all or nothing type trade, and he does very well with them. So if you want to understand better how that works, then go to that webinar tonight. You will not be disappointed. Thor is going to talk about how you too can take advantage of that trend identification. Next week, Brendan is going to be on at the same time talking about how you can trade the VWAP bounce. So stay tuned for that one. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. If you want to join us at Bearable Traders, we'd love to have you. It's a great opportunity. We've got a number of membership options that you can take advantage of from the intro right through the Elite Annual. You can see them listed there. The Elite Annual is always your best deal because you get 1 year full access to everything we've got at Bearable Traders, and it's going to help you accelerate that trading journey. I see a few people that have just joined. They're asking me how the marathon went. I've got my successful marathon shirt on right here. So here we go. I finished it, and I will never do another one again. It was a good experience. I'm glad I did it. I can cross it off the bucket list. It is very destructive to your body. So
I
I
bet. I
just
bet.
there was a guy, Mike and I will both tell this story. So, literally, we were a couple of 100 meters from the finish line, like one corner away from going on that final stretch where you see the finish line and you get to finish. And right before that corner, as I was running by, a guy had collapsed just seconds before I got there, and people had already surrounded him and they were helping out. But this guy went in; he was in full body rigor, like whatever he'd done, he'd exhausted
Went too
himself,
far.
completely
Wow.
dehydrated, and he was just like completely like frozen and twitching, and it looked absolutely horrible. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do for this guy. I'm barely standing in myself, but people around him, and by the time Mike passed him, there was ambulances and police and all cordoned off, and I'm thinking, man, like that a race is not worth that. So I decided no
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
marathons for me. It's foolish stuff. Besides which, I think my knees have been a little sore ever since. And I'm like, half marathons. After you do a full marathon, you're like a half. That's easy, man. I can do that. Halfway point, I was
Walk in the
feeling
park.
great at the marathon. So maybe I'll do some of those. But nobody needs
Yeah.
to run 42 kilometers. Like unless I'm running for my life, there's no need to run that far.
Yeah, if you have to run
That's
that
my
far for
opinion.
your life, that's tough. That's tough.
Indeed.
Peter, before we get to some other stuff, you got some pictures too. I know some people joining now. We got more viewers, so show your pictures of the start
Oh
and the
yeah.
finish
Well,
there with Mike.
I'd only loaded up the two that. Oh wait, sorry. That's where were they? That we were talking about.
Yep.
Here was Mike and I. Look at that. That's at the start line. That was just before 7 a.m. when we were at the start line, and we were thinking of all you guys and said, all right, we know you're going to ask, so rapid verbal traders, and then there we are at the finish line. Around, you could see it was a beautiful day, by the way, and beautiful race. Like it was a great race
Yeah.
through the French countryside. We were racing in country roads and up and down hills. A lot of hills. This marathon had a lot of hills. We were supposed to pick a flat one. Mike failed on that mission, so it was not flat. It was
Or
not
Mike,
flat.
or Mike knew, and he didn't want to tell you to scare you.
No, he didn't know because he hates hills, so he
Yeah,
suffered
yeah.
even more than I did. But yeah, it was awful. Like they were so bad that by the end, I was literally walking down the hills. It wasn't even the uphills that were bad; it was down because I
Yes,
just
it's
couldn't
weird
handle the
running the knee,
yeah, I
right?
couldn't handle the
Yeah.
pressure on my knees. So I was so happy when you get to a flat point. But anyways, it was a great experience, but again, never to be repeated. So there you go.
Yeah. Awesome, man. All right, friends, let's get some levels set here. My list right now, which actually pretty light, pretty light. Let's look at some stuff. I want to add, let me see, NVIDIA, of course. How can we not add NVIDIA? Let's add NVIDIA, right? So I want to add some more stuff on here. NVIDIA looks great, actually, up 1.5, 9.3 million shares traded. And if you look at the movement this morning, it's actually bigger than what the percentages are showing. I know we're up 1.5 here, but here's your previous day close, and look where we're coming from. We're coming from 121 all the way to 124. So that's a really nice big move on NVIDIA. I want to add at least two more. Apple just wrapping itself around the VWAP. Tesla, it's always fun to watch Tesla, but let me just put it on the back burner for now. Maybe a secondary. Tesla secondary. How about PLTR? Yes, PLTR is good. Peter, we've been watching PLTR almost every single day. It's been so explosive. Yes, it was not so great, but it's been a stock that's really it's been making our list quite a bit here. And I think that's it. So Coin, JD, Rigetti, NVIDIA, and PLTR, and we can always fine tune this as we move forward. I did see Baba's got some movement here after a nice gap up yesterday. Baba on the secondary, and that's it. We'll call it there. All right, here we go. Let's go to Coin. Let's get some levels in place here, friends. So Coin this morning, again, good news. They're joining the S&P 500. Obviously, that's positive for them. Can create more volume. They start joining some of these mutual funds and stuff like that. Who knows? 230.38 is the high of the pre-market, so we'll slam one there. Then towards the bottom, we do have the low of the pre-market at 225.08. Below that, you can see the highs and lows for the last two trading days. They're down below 215, around 215 or so as the highs. We're going to go to the left here, March, February. You can see that those levels surrounding our high and low of the pre-market this morning. Towards the bottom, we like 210, 220 50. It's a good area to have just in case we do drop that 225, that low of the pre-market. And then towards the top, we do have 239. Man, these levels are pretty far out. 239 is a good level there. And then another one over at 254. I mean, it just seems like a lot here, but I guess coin can move that much. The range this morning alone in the pre-market is $5, so it is possible. So that is coin. Good volume, good news. We'd love to see how that's going to play out a little bit later. JD, big move up and then right back down to the previous day close. So all the way up to 37.38. We're still up almost half a percent, so not by much anymore. But 37.83 high of the pre-market. The low is down at 34.25, which is being marked down by the highs of the last couple of days right on here. So you're set there. Very interesting range this morning. Daily looks a little bit all over the place, but let's see. Maybe JD could do something today. Another level at 36.96, so we'll slam one there above the pre-market highs all the way at 39.26. And then once you do that, I think you're pretty much set. You got plenty of levels. Again, this morning's pre-market range pretty wide compared to what they normally do. So looking forward to see how this thing is going to trade this morning. Also, 5.7 million shares traded. We got tons of volume on this bad boy. Should be fun to watch today. Rigetti with some news, gapping down here 10%. High of the pre-market. This is after earnings last night. High of the pre-market 10.52. We'll slam one up there towards the bottom. The low is going to be down at exactly $10. Above the pre-market highs, guys, highs and lows for the last two trading days, doing an amazing job. It's got almost every major level covered there, so you don't have to add anything. And then towards the bottom, below that $10, we're going to just mark down 965, and then another one all the way down here around 923. And once you do that, you're pretty good when it comes to in RGTI. Nvidia is next. Nvidia is making a nice move in the pre-market this morning. So let's mark some levels here. High of the pre-market 124.99. Just trying to slam into that. Towards the bottom, the low is going to be down at 121.61. So we'll slam a level there as well. Highs and lows for the last two trading days. These two guys right over here, it's got you covered. Plenty of support towards the bottom there. We're going to go to the left, and this will take us to around February-March timeframe. If we zoom in here, some really nice levels. We have one right over at 128.16, a little bit lower actually. It's 127.57, and then one over at 131.06. So a couple of levels there for Nvidia towards the upside in case we do continue this beautiful move we got going. 1.5 up right now, but again, the move has started even well before that. Last but not least, our good buddy PLTR, which is kind of just in between the highs and lows of the last two trading days, so not really breaking out any way up or down here. 116.77 is the low of the pre-market. Your high is going to be over at 119.99, and once you do those two levels, you're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days. You don't really have to add anything much on PLTR. So looking good there. Tons of volume, 2.1 million shares traded, and again, just has become one of our favorite stocks to have on deck. All right, I see our moderators got their list together. Peter, run us through that, and then we'll get ready for some live trading.
Absolutely. Our mods are starting to get their picks selected, starting with Lenny, who, as usual, has got a big list to watch. He's going to be keeping an eye on NVIDIA, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Coin, UNH, RGTI, and First Solar, FSLR. Interesting choice there. Thor's going to be watching AMD and Amazon. Nathan's going to be watching the app. I was going to say ABBA, but no, not ABBA. BABA, BABA, and AMD. Thor, I already mentioned him. Avi's watching Avi's stuff, so that means the Magnificent Seven and probably AMD. Paris is going to be watching Tesla, of course, NVIDIA, PLTR, UNH, and JD. Andrew, in with his list and up bright and early, going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, RGTI, and Coin. I've got my list you can see right there with some of the usual suspects, and then the IPOs, which I'll let you know about if and when they open. Pierre is going to be watching Tesla, NVIDIA, RGTI, Coin, and PLTR. Phil, NVIDIA, Coin, Amazon, and Tesla. Brendan will be watching Tesla, NVIDIA, RGTI, Apple, and Coin. And last but absolutely not least, one of our live traders in the chat room, Brian, is going to be watching Tesla, NVIDIA, HIMS, PLTR, UNH, and of course the market overall. As we always do, we're going to be live trading in the chat room with Brian and Andrew. And Carlos, I assume the world hasn't changed, and you and I are going to be trading live with our friends on YouTube.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Friends, if you want to join Andrew and Brian, there's a link that Peter gave you earlier. Head over to bearbootraders.com. Go ahead, Peter.
Just on Andrew's camera, have you got that on YouTube? I know, it's because I see it in the room there.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of talk earlier about Andrew's sofa that's going on in
Yeah.
his apartment. He bought this thing. We had a chance to visit it when we were in Vancouver. I got to sit on it and enjoy it there. I mentioned it only because every single furniture store I saw in France, both one in Biarritz and two that I happened to pass in Paris, all had various colors of that exact same sofa. So
Hmm.
Andrew is very Parisian chic. Apparently, it's there you go.
Nice.
He's right up on the
Nice.
latest trends and styles. So that's that sofa just was all over the place. So there you go.
Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. All right,
Did I
Fez,
have
we'll let you.
Gonzalo? I do have to say the French live up to the reputation. Both their croissants and just their baguettes, best bread I've ever had in my life. Like and it doesn't matter where you go, any little corner place, they've got the boulangeries everywhere. You pick up a freshly baked croissant baguette in the morning, you will not be disappointed. Fantastic. So there you go. All right, guys, let's get focused on trading. Hopefully it'll be a good day. I'm looking forward to getting back and setting in the swing of things. All of you guys trade smart. Whatever your watch list is, make sure that you're focused on your trading strategies, and you should have a good day.
All right, awesome, guys. I'm just. Hold on a second. There we go. I had Andrew and Brian on my ear, so I just had to mute them, and we are good to go here. All right, friends, let's get ready. If you guys want to see Andrew and Brian trade live, you can always check them out. Go to bearbertraders.com, scroll to the bottom. You're going to see this intro membership that allows you to get in there and enjoy the for a week, right? Plus some courses, our onboarding class, and a bunch of other things you guys can take advantage of. So, all right, let's get ready for the open. 1 minute chart, 2 minute at the 5 minute at the bottom here. And we'll be ready to rock and roll here, man. Peter, so no trading for you while you were away this time, right? You just kind of didn't check in on any trades, or?
I had the intention to do so, but as often I've learned, on vacation, best intentions notwithstanding, you just don't get the time. I was never really around, and when I was watching the market, it was usually like late afternoon, and I didn't want to just jump into something without having had a feel for how the market was moving. So, short answer, no, I didn't trade anything, not once, while I was gone.
Yeah, it's sometimes best, man. I notice that if I do go on vacation, I jump on a trade, especially if you're in the U.S., right? Still the morning time, it ties up your day. And the wife and kids don't like that because like, hold on a second, sweetie, and we can't leave just yet. They want to get out and go about their thing. So I no longer trade on vacations. Just enjoy the time for the most part. Okay, we are set. 1 minute, 5 minute, good.
Brian in the chat room is busy talking about going out for dinner at 8 o'clock one night, and he was amazed that people were still coming in for dinner. One thing I've learned, if you're in Paris especially, dinner, dinner, the restaurants, most of the restaurants, it's funny, on the southern coast in Biarritz where we were, the restaurants were open from 10 until 2 and then closed until 7 and only reopened at 7. So if you wanted to eat between 2 and 7, you are out of luck. Like almost everything was closed. They needed their siesta, I guess. It was a thing. So maybe they were very close to Spain, so there's a lot of Spanish influence in that area of France. In fact, we went to Spain one afternoon just to go to Saint Sebastian. Fantastic city, by the way. Saint Sebastian is a little coastal town that I'd never heard of, but it is a wonderful city. They had a church that was built in they had a church that was built in 1000. Like 1060. So pretty cool town. But and odd fact about Saint Sebastian, they have the most number of Michelin stars per capita in the world. So technically they have the best food in the entire world in Saint.
Wow, interesting.
But it's only because they have a few Michelin stars and not many people, so compared to how many Michelin stars are normally there. But
Gotcha.
So yeah. But anyways, it was always amazing. So going out to eat in Paris, we never went out for dinner any earlier than 8 or 9 o'clock. Usually we were going out for dinner 9 or 10 p.m. every single day. It's just what you do.
Yeah. That's pretty late.
Yeah,
Um,
it's you got used to it. It was interesting. So, anyways, it was fun. I really, really like Paris. I was surprised at how much I like Paris. It was a great town. All right, guys, I'm going to focus on trading though. Here, I'm going to get myself ready for this open. Got to get in the swing of this. So, got to change my platform over.
yeah, looking at some tickers that are making their way into the gapless list. Hood is one of them, who's got some volume here of 2.2. I like their pre-market activity, so it might be going to put on the secondary just to come back and look at it in a second here. So
Oops.
Hood on the secondary list.
TLTR.
United CO stepped down. Yeah, John. I think that's part of it. Also, they pulled their guidance. Right, it's another one.
Yeah.
That people are kind of doing. Plus, you also got the situation with the prescriptions. Right, this affects their insurance of Trump cracking down on these prices.
I
So
don't.
it's a lot. It's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I don't know the intricacies of the U.S. System, but I don't know like a company like UnitedHealth, like they don't make money off the drug prices. So would this be a benefit, or would it hurt? I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think
Like
there's
if
yeah.
drug prices drop, in theory they could save money, but if they make a percentage off everything, then their revenues could drop, and maybe they'll make less money. I don't know how it
That
works.
I won't be surprised if they're overcharging and there's some whining and dining and percentages. Who knows what kind of stuff is happening, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
I
true.
can't
There's probably a
see.
lot of
And
kickback
also,
type.
I don't understand this. I mean, like, again, I got family that works in a lot of these health insurance and doctors and all this stuff. So I always ask them, when I get my bill, they tell you, oh, this is how much this costs. And I tell them, hey, listen, this doesn't cost this much. This doctor just did a cleaning. Why does it cost so much? They explain to me a lot of the medical stuff that happens here, they charge a ridiculous amount, but then he ends up settling for a little bit lower, right? So why do that? Like it happens across the board. Like 80% of that is not going to really get charged, right? They pay a lot less. So why not just
Right.
put what it actually costs? What that does is it leaves wiggle room to play games with different people and different
Right.
vendors. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, right? So it's just a lot of shady stuff going on in the insurance healthcare business. So,
There are side deals on side deals.
oh yeah,
All right. All right. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on UNH and see what it does here at the open. Maybe that will be a trading opportunity. I'd be looking for it for my usual Rising Devil type play, which means I need to see UNH pop back up towards the VWAP. It's dropping right now, but it's at this level where it hit the low of the day early around 8 o'clock. So let's see if it holds here. If it pops back up, that might be a
yep.
good short. We'll see. But
All right, here we go. Less than a minute to the market open, guys. As usual, I'll wait 3 minutes before I take any trades, and then we'll be looking for either 5 minute ORB or a VWAP breakout if we can get one. Raytrix, good morning, man. Yes, Peter's back. How you did yesterday? I left and I saw you kept trading, man. Hopefully you did well, because I know you were holding on before taking a trade, but hopefully you finished the day good. Um,
thank you, Raytrix. Thank you, everybody who welcomed me back. It's good to be back. All right, we've got the open coming here in a few seconds.
we got PTR doing some stuff here for the bell.
Oh, oh, come on. Oh, no. UNH has maybe dropped too much here. There's the opening. Hey, where's my bell? I didn't get a bell. Damn it.
Ah, yeah. Ding, 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 ding. 7 minutes, 7 seconds
Thanks.
behind, but we got it. All right, here we go. PLTR coming down. NVIDIA getting some volume. That's good. RGTI. JD on the list today. We have Coin. Coin with their positive news also hanging out with us here this morning.
All right, so we got some early volume happening here on UNH. We're getting a little bit of the pop-up I was looking for. Let's see how far it's going to pop up. It's tough to tell how far this thing is going to go.
Which one are you looking at, Peter?
UNH.
UNH, yep. UNH. Let's see here. UNH doing some stuff.
See, look at that. See this UNH. This stock, man. I've watched this many times.
Trade, yeah.
It plays funny games where it really pops up higher. You gotta have a lot of guts to be willing to try and take a reversal on that.
Yep.
I don't have the guts.
Looking at pure TR, man, it is flying here. Let's see, $2 move on that candle already. Almost solid move. That is nice. A lot of strength right now. Rigetti also pushing up. JD trying to come up above the VWAP, and we have Coin as well showing some strength.
340, yeah. Around 340 was the target on UNH. I just couldn't. I didn't see enough settling of the price for me to jump in because it was only there for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Look at it now. It's right back down. $6 lower at 334. Oh well. Look, I called it, but I didn't trade it. It just was too fast for me. So, guys, I don't have a trade on UNH, but that was the trade I would have targeted. It did make the move I was looking for, but said it happened too quickly for me.
Yeah. Here's Hims. Hims is, I see you guys calling that out, also doing some stuff here. Good volume, up 3.4. And
Pig Wrestler, I feel you might be paraphrasing Nietzsche. I don't think Nietzsche quite said that, but hey, I could be wrong. Maybe Nietzsche was a stock market trader.
Let's see.
My son has got a big poster in his room about Nietzsche that says, I can't remember what it is. It was like, it says, quote from Nietzsche. It says, "God is dead." That's one of Nietzsche's famous quotes, right? Whatever the date is on that, something like 1901, blah, blah, blah. And then below it, it says, "Nietzsche is dead," quoted by God, 1902. Like, ouch. Harsh, but
yeah. Amazon, man, a lot of good movements. I like what I'm seeing today. This is good. At what UNH is?
Yeah.
Wow.
It made the move again.
It's gonna be your one and done for the week, Peter. UNH.
It could have been. It could have been.
That's nice.
Yeah, Ian. Yeah, it's a big poster my son has in his room. It's he was a psychology major, so I guess it fit. But I'll go take a picture of it so I can share with you guys at some point.
Yeah, nice. All right, PLTR, NVIDIA. All right, guys, we're past the 3-minute mark. Let's see if we could find something here that makes sense. Rigetti could be setting up for a nice long here. I like it above the VWAP. Let's see how this 5-minute closes here. Let's see. Just going through my stuff and seeing if I find anything. Wow, UNH is just taking a bloodbath, friends. UNH is not doing so hot. All right, coming up on the 5-minute mark. Let's see if Rigetti can bounce off the VWAP here for a good 5-minute ORB long. But it's looking weak. Looks like it wants to go lower, so not liking it. Level 2 is actually looking weak as well.
There.
Let's see if it can.
I found an image online of the poster that he has in his room.
Hold on, let me put it big here. There we go.
That's the poster he's got. 1883 and 1900. Anyways, it's a little harsh, but my son found it very amusing. So
it's a little rough, yeah.
Anyway. All right,
here we go. Rigetti, it's a little wild. Tons of orders at the top there, 1050. It's a little messy. A little messy. Yeah, it's a little messy. So it's all over the place. We'll leave that alone for now. JD taking off here. SMCI, UNH. I don't see anything I like. Tessa, Baba push above previous day close. That's a nice 5-minute ORB after a good pullback.
Yeah, Bubba's sitting just below previous day close there. Let's see if it can go green.
Yeah, I like this potential breakout. I'm gonna go long Baba, guys. Let's see if we can get the breakout here on Baba. Let's see, there it is. Nice 5-minute ORB. Let's see if we can get above that previous day close there.
Yeah, Hassan, I do have some FOMO on UNH, but again, you know, it's tough for me to jump into those at the best of times. And being my first trade back after almost 2 weeks away, made it doubly tough. So I don't regret it.
I don't blame you, man. Gotta ease your way into it.
Yeah, it's just a shame it worked so well. Big quick $10 move. And David Jordan, I was in Paris. In fact, I was actually visiting the Notre Dame Cathedral the day that they announced that the new pope. And I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really following Paris news. It's not like I picked up a Paris newspaper, but there were no like celebrations in the streets or anything that I saw. It really Paris just seems to be Paris. I definitely got the distinct impression of Paris that it doesn't care what the rest of the world is doing. It's been around for 1,000 years. It'll be here for 1,000 more. It just keeps trundling along its way. That's my impression of Paris. But.
Yeah.
Yeah, U.S. Pope. I did hear that. That's right. So first time ever
from Chicago. Bob. From Chicago. Yeah.
I think he should. I still think he should have just called himself Pope Bob.
Yeah.
His name is Robert something or other, but. Should be just Pope Bob. I think that would have been awesome. But anyways.
C Coin is good. Stanley Park. Love Vancouver. Yeah, Stanley Park is awesome. CWS Long Hood. CSMI
Dalton.
Breaking out.
Dalton, I had lots of croissants. Actually, my favorite is the pain au chocolat. So basically, it's like same like croissant pastry, but it's made usually into a rectangle with chocolate in the middle. Chocolate bread, literal translation. Delicious.
All right, Bob's pulling back on me a little bit here. If it loses the 9, I'll hop out of it. Let's see if it can hold the 9 moving average here. But it's looking rather weak, and the volume's just not pouring in here. So let's see, SPY.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize you did jump into that Baba trade.
Yeah, I did, but it's just looking ugly, so I'm gonna hop out of it. It was not able to break through. So Atom Baba here, if it can regain again, I'll definitely. Oh, look at Nvidia go, nice. Wow, out of all the trades, I took the wrong 5-minute ORB. Everything else looks beautiful here. Even JD above the
Nvidia. It looks like it was mostly on this one candle at like 9:31 that most of this move happened.
Yeah. PLTR gave us no pullback whatsoever.
Tesla looks ugly this morning. Has Tesla been doing this the last?
You know what? I have not been trading Tesla. I traded it yesterday. It was one pop, no continuation, but it was a green trade. But it's not giving you like these nice continuation. At least I have not caught them in the morning on Tesla. Right. So, but yeah, so Tesla. That's why I have it on my secondary today. It's like the other things are trading much better. Let's see if Baba can regain that breakout there. I do like it for a breakout above the previous day close, but let's see if we can. Man, look at Hood. But again, there's no. How would I join? There's no pullback. Like there's no way for me to join this trade here. Maybe here. but this thing is gone. Rigetti.
Hims. You watching him? No, I haven't even looked at Hims. What is Hims up to? Let's see.
Him's been actually very active. Him's been it's out of control, man. You look at the daily on this thing. This thing is just high flying, man. A couple of times I think Lenny traded it when he was covering for you, but I have not traded it yet. But yeah, it's been in play quite a bit here. Yeah, Tandy, it is. I'm looking at RGCI. It is messy. I like the setup above the VWAP here, but the price action is very weird on Rigetti. Getting a nice move there. Like everything is just gone. Like all this Tesla, but see, but it does this wraps up around the VWAP. It'll give you like a small move, but then it doesn't just go on Tesla. So let's see if we can get something like that. AMD short. That's a stock I haven't seen heard about in a while. AMD.
AMD's not looking. It's looking a little choppy to me. Oh, you know what I should do? I should put my pins. So.
Let's see. All right. What we got going on? I was looking at Rigetti for a pullback. I know the price is messy, but I was looking at it for a pullback, but it didn't give it to us to retest the VWAP. And look at it go. It's nice pop there, but didn't get our setup. Coin trying to push higher under positive news. Hood and PTR moving well. Yeah. FMCI. UNH going lower. Tesla. Baba. Hood. Everything is so extended for me. Nvidia. Baba has no volume.
Nvidia is going a little higher here. UNH is back at the lows. Tesla's choppy. AMD is choppy. Well, no trades for me yet, guys. I'm still watching. SMCI had a good move up this morning.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Look at
Hims.
this thing is gone. This
Yeah,
beautiful
Hims,
trade.
Similar.
Yeah.
Good
Yep.
move higher.
Him, same thing.
Yeah.
Hims,
So-
tons of volume.
If any of you guys got either of those trades, then well done. I'm still watching and waiting, which not a surprise. I wasn't really expecting to get a trade before about 10:30 today. Again, UNH was setting up, but it just moved too quickly for me. I was unable to take advantage of that move, even though it did move the direction I was expecting. Baba just could not get over the green mark.
Yeah, man.
PLTR had a good initial move. Now it looks like it's just floating sideways.
I don't see anything I like, friends. Um,
One of the things I randomly talk about, Carlos, you know, when I was
yeah.
in southern France there in the Biarritz region, they call it the Basque region. And the Basque region covers not only southern France, but northern Spain there. And they gave us a bunch of these pins. One of the pins they gave us was, and there's this one, if I put it so you can actually see it. But anyways, it has this whatever that probably says hello. I don't know what it
Mhm.
means, but in the region they've got a language called Euskara, which is it was weird because it was written in French and then this language that nobody recognized. So we did a little research on it, and I didn't realize that region of Europe, specifically that northern Spain, southern French region, has this Euskara language that is so local that it has no relation to any other language on Earth. It's completely unique.
Wow.
So yeah, or Basque. Yeah, it's I didn't realize that it's like an ancient language that was
Mm-hmm.
spoken. It's a regional, but it's not like a dialect of something else. It is its own language. They use English characters in a lot of cases to spell it, but that's a phonetic spelling of the sounds. It's I don't think it had a written language as far as I can tell. So
Yeah,
it's just fascinating. Yeah, it has no
that's
known roots
interesting.
in any other language, Jamie. I didn't know this. It was fascinating for me to learn it when I was in that area. So, things
That
you
is
learn about the world,
interesting.
right? That it's much more
Yeah.
diverse and wonderful than you ever know until you get out there. Oh, and I'm still having FOMO on UNH. Look at it going lower.
Yeah.
Ah,
That is that is a monster move, man. Monster move on UNH. That is freaking awesome. Um,
yeah. So be patient, guys. Don't force any trades. You know, looks like today is not a big aggressive day. If I look at the Q and the SPY, I mean they're both green today, but they don't look like they're moving with any particular aggression. We're only up point, half a percent on the Qs, 0.2% on the SPY. Clearly, this is not a directionally strong market. So I don't think we want to, don't make any huge bets unless you really see a very, very strong setup. That would be my advice. Nvidia is hesitating at this level here. Could go either way.
let's see if Tesla can get going here. Trying to break out above the VWAP, getting a little bit of a pullback. Has struggled the last time it was here, and now it's trying to bounce off that previous day close and try to stay above that VWAP mark. Let's see what it does in the next minute. Will be interesting, but it looks like it's struggling. Baba struggling. QBTS. What the hell is RGC? What's RGC? Man, that's garbage.
RGC.
Bioscience. Yeah, just don't get volume. Trust me, there's a lot of more tickers that look like this. If this is probably not a handful, obviously, but there's a lot more tickers that look like this one here than the stuff that we're seeing that looks alive, right? So there's like 5,000, 7,000 tickers. How many tickers out there in the stock market? Let's ask ChatGPT. Here we go. Start now. Stop it.
I thought there was about 12,000.
Is it that much now? Let's see. How many
I don't know.
tickers in the financial
Is it maybe
stock
the U.S.
market?
markets?
Break it down by exchange. All right, let's see.
So,
See what comes up. 14,000 on your scanners. I thought it was more like 7,000, but again, that was years ago. I had that number. Okay, New York Stock Exchange has 2,039 listed companies. Nasdaq has 3,145 listed companies. So total U.S. 5,539. Now those are listed companies, right? I don't know if that part doesn't consist of ETFs. That could be different, right?
Oh,
So
right.
that companies, that makes sense. So I had the company. Yeah, it's around 5,007. Yeah, this marks a decline from 8,000 back in 1996. So that's the number. I'm sure if I do ETFs, it would probably be a lot more.
Yeah. So that would make sense. There's probably at least as many of these ETF
Yeah.
things out there
I
as
mean,
there are.
Nvidia has like just like five that I can think of.
Yeah.
The short,
Maybe it's a
long,
different question
whatever.
if you ask how many tradable tickers are there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if I saw the QBTS drop. I didn't like it as much going into the previous day close, but I was looking at it when you called it out here. So you did get the breakout, you did get a slight pullback. I just didn't like it going into here. So I don't know, didn't love it, but I did the move when you called it out. It's a great move. Look at Nvidia going higher, man. It's just keeps breaking up here. I just don't. I'm looking at it, but it's just I have no play here whatsoever. Maybe a high day breakout for some people that like to do that. Joining a trend for me is one of the most difficult things there is. Unless you go in for a scalp, right? A scalp is a completely different story. But Nvidia, very strong here, friends. SMCI, same thing, very strong this morning. UNH very weak. And it wants to go lower. This thing is gonna. What is the floor? Where's the floor on this thing? Oh man, we haven't been down here in a long, long time. What a drop!
yeah.
This stock, literally, guys, just in April, was almost double, $600. We're down at almost 326 now. We haven't been here since February 2021. February 2021. So beginning of 2020. It's been a while. It's been a while. Ouch. And we're talking about in a month we have done this drop. Not even a couple of months. In a month we have done this drop. So the last 30 days have not treated UNH well at all. Ouch. No, they didn't have a split. No, they're not splitting. They're not going bankrupt. They're just having a really, really tough time. POTR. Things are pulling back a little bit here. AJD going below the VWAP. That could be interesting. Getty. How's the chat doing? What's Andrew up to? Andrew's long. What's that? CL or Tesla? Andrew's long Tesla.
Is he? He was earlier. Oh yeah, he's tried it again. Yeah, because he had a loss on it. Went long, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Man, I got so much FOMO today. So many great stocks. Yeah, no, I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling the FOMO, man. Wow, so many great moves that can provide a really nice return. Let's start with your UNH. I mean, this is a week worth of trading, man. Your entry was 340. I mean, that's it's pretty nice. SMCI, look at it go. POTR, same thing. Nvidia, just
Nvidia, yeah.
that's $3 from like our entry here, $2 already from where we would have got in for a 5-minute ORB. Oh boy. Rigetti's just nasty. It is just so bad today. So bad. Coin is another one. Yes, that's pushing high here. High if they break out. What is this 239 level we had? This pre-market high, I believe. No, it's a daily level. Let's check the daily. Daily level 239. Yes, it's a daily level we marked down. Yeah, so daily level there that we're kind of breaking out of now. Man, there's no way I'm gonna leave this day without an awesome trade. How is this possible? This is not acceptable. Rigetti, Nvidia, POTR, HIMS. Yeah, you guys called out HIMS. Another one that's, look at this thing. It's opened up at 55.90. My goodness, up at 61. Anybody take that? I hope you guys took that. I didn't have it on my list today. I don't know how I didn't have it today, but oh, you took UNH short. Very nice. Very nice. Market. Oh, market keeps pushing higher. Nicholas, I did say the same thing Friday. Yeah, I did. You're right. I did. Friday I had two. Friday was a red day for me. Yeah, I didn't do well Friday. Yesterday was good.
Oh, Nvidia
and today. Oh my goodness. Where's the memo? Trump did not say buy. It's a good time to buy. Where's the memo? We missed it. I didn't see the text.
You need that. You need a text now?
I need a text from Trump saying it's a good time to buy. I would have jumped in all in, full buying power on this stuff, but I did not get the memo. He did. Gorinder said he did. I did not get the memo this morning that it was going to be a long type day like this. Nvidia just crushing.
Well, apparently UNH didn't get the memo.
UNH has a lot of problems, man. This company.
Nvidia's moving nicely here now.
Their CEO left, doesn't want to be unalived. He's like, I'm leaving. This is not enough money for other drama, personal reasons. Yeah, right. You know how much money that position is? You're gonna leave for personal reasons? Something there.
We've got enough money, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. Something there's fishy. He tweeted that Friday. Yeah, but we need that tweet every day, every morning. We need that tweet. It's time to buy. But this could be a reaction from yesterday's actions. I mean, yesterday the market was just in shock. Like it gapped up, and Peter, everything was sideways. Like I would have expected this reaction yesterday, not today, but today we're getting this wonderful northeast reaction. Yesterday was like a shock, like, oh, we're up this morning, and everything, a lot of stuff just went sideways. And today we're getting the markets are getting a lot of love, unless you're UNH. Oh, here we go. Tesla's breaking out now, guys, above the VWAP. Alphabet. You know what? Let's take a look.
It's not really doing much.
Out of all of them, this is the least favorite when it comes to my, like the Magnificent Seven. They're just hard to trade. Apple's not doing so much today. I feel like everything that I could have traded is gone. And I feel like if I take a trade now, I'm just forcing something that might not be there. SMCI. Oh, Baba was a great short. Look at Baba. Baba's not doing so hot. Hood. Hymns. I have nothing, guys. I'm gonna live through you guys. What did you guys trade today? I have nothing. Give me your trades. Let me live through you guys. What do you guys have here? Tesla. Let's see what else is going on. Why, when the market is strong, it's more difficult to trade? So, Andrea, for me, my strategies do very well around the VWAP, right? So, for example, like the 5-minute ORB is great around the VWAP. The VWAP breakouts, obviously, it's got to be around the VWAP. When things get going like this, like NVIDIA, I don't know how to join this party. I don't have a strategy for this, and I don't have a trade book that can say, hey, go long here for a 5-day breakout, right? I don't have that. So once stocks do this and they leave this beautiful VWAP line, for me, it becomes a little bit difficult. So it's important to me that in the morning time that I get something here early, or if the stock comes back and hangs out around the VWAP, I can trade it. But right now it's out of my trade zone, right? So I can't jump in on that. You just jump in, says Ben. Yeah, I guess you could. I don't trade that way. I don't trade that way. All right, let's see what else. So Nvidia is the number one today. Yeah, Nvidia's on fire. How about short HIMS? No, HIMS is strong. Yeah, yeah, it's getting a little toppy, but I wouldn't short this right now unless I will get like a good reversal pattern, either a mountain pass or a double top. Anything that's very, very reversal friendly. I don't see it right now. Yes, you're getting a little top. Even on the 5-minute, you're seeing that you're kind of flattening out a little bit at the top here, and you got some buying pressure coming in. But this could be a pause for something bigger. It's also holding on to the 20. So let's see if it bounces off the 20 here and what it does. But this stock is strong, right? And the market keeps pushing higher. So you got to be careful. Wow, Tesla. Beautiful breakout on Tesla there, guys. That is really, really nice. Tesla, POTR is amazing. Yeah.
Tesla's got Andrew a little frustrated here this morning because he got out of Tesla back at his break even, and not happy with
you gotta be kidding me. That will piss me off.
I don't know if you can pull up that trade for
man, that is
just shows how it happens to the best of us, right? Even Andrew.
Yeah, that sucks.
He
look at that.
He had a first loss.
Beautiful entry, and then wow.
Yeah, and he got nervous on it because he had that first loss, and then instead of holding on, he got out right before the move. So it can happen anyway.
And I don't blame him, because if you look at this is frustrating. Like this is a sign, like it's not making a new high and it does this. Yeah, you're gonna jump out of the trade. I mean, that's a tough place to be in. But look at this. It takes off here. Yeah, it sucks. That sucks. Yeah, it's a great day as UNH continues lower. Great trading day, and all I have is this Baba nonsense here. HIMS, see, this is why you gotta be careful. Like, it looks like it wants to go higher. Like, it looks like it wants to try for 62 again. Look at this candle it's putting in here. Do we jump in on this? This looks good. What's my strategy? Gambling is a strategy here. And we're not going to trade that. Oh man, Nvidia. RGTI looks like it wants to go. This looks like a somewhat of a breakout here off the high of day. It looks like it wants to get. man is laughing. Yeah, it's gambling. What's the strategy here? I always ask people, like, I'm gonna do it today when we have our mentorship this morning. Some people, they'll take trades and they'll be like, I got in long here, and the first time I ask them, what's the strategy? Like, yes, so you got long and worked out. What's the strategy? And if you don't have a strategy,
exactly.
If you don't have an answer, doesn't matter whether you make money or not. Doesn't matter. Got to have a strategy. That's the only way to repeat it. So.
Agreed. It's sort of easy, or at least it's possible to make money once or twice, but to do it repeatably over the long term, you need to have a strategy that you're sticking to. because then it's not going to work 5 times in a row, and you're going to say, I don't know what's not working. Well, what's not working is it's
Mm-hmm.
you're just sort of basically randomly taking trades.
Yeah, 100%. Ben says his strategy was a full moon last night, which actually was a beautiful full moon last night.
Was that? Oh,
Yeah, man, it was perfect circle, yellowish,
yeah.
and it was bright out last night. Man. It was really, really, really beautiful. Barely any clouds, so you got a good picture of it. It's funny, like when you see it, I try to usually take a picture of my phone to kind of share it with my family, and the phone just doesn't do any justice. It looks horrible, like just a
No.
dot, So
It's
you better
it's
off
amazing
texting
that
them
way,
saying,
Carlos,
"Look
isn't it?
outside."
I
Yeah,
find the same thing with so many pictures of, when you try and take pictures of night skies and mountains. Like you can be
yeah,
looking at a mountain, you're like, this is what an amazing view. And then you take a picture of it and you look at it later, you're like, but it was so amazing. The picture it's just a
yeah,
picture, It's a
yeah,
picture of
yeah.
a hill way off in the distance. But when you
That's
were
it.
there, it feels majestic. Somehow you just can't capture that feeling in a photo.
Yeah. Yeah, David, you need the long exposures, and obviously you need a stand, right? You can't do that with handheld. You could do it, but it's just not a quick thing as a picture of a phone. You're not gonna get it right. Um, but yeah, it's a beautiful full moon out. Look at Tesla go! My goodness!
Yeah,
Wow.
no, Tesla's. I
They
feel
can.
Andrew is purposely not looking at it. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a
Yep.
lot of
Yep.
move
Yep.
up going now. Remember earlier I said we did not have a directional market. Looks like that sentiment may have changed
That
slightly.
has changed,
Clearly,
man. Yeah.
we're moving.
And
Yeah,
I am in nothing.
Andrew's got some angry Romo.
Yeah.
Regret.
I don't
He's
blame him. That he was in at 320, and he
yeah,
takes his big size, right? And that thing is up at 325. I mean, that
yeah.
is easily for him a $40,000 trade. Well, depending how he partials,
Oh yeah.
right? But this one would have not gave him any reason to partial out heavy because he gave him a cushion very quickly, and then it just went off. So, yeah, it's frustrating. Nvidia once more. Rigetti. If Rigetti had more volume, it looks like it wants to go higher, but it's the price action is so bad. And actually, take that back. It does have volume because this candle is already 314,000 shares trade on the 1 minute. That is a lot of volume. You still got almost 15 seconds left. It's just, I don't know. The price action is weird on this thing. But looks like it wants to go. Hood, Hims coming back down to the VWAP, QBTS. Baba can be a reversal. Short or long? What are we looking at? Baba here. Yeah, volume is shady on the volume on this thing, right? We had good volume at the market open. When I got in, great volume. And then when I got out, it's like I took the party with me. Volume got a little bit better here and then just really died down. So, yeah. I think on this trade, I think I put too much weight on this candle here. Way too much weight. I put a lot of weight on this candle with the way the buying pressure came in for the breakout. So maybe that's not a good idea. Rigetti's gonna go. What's the next level on Rigetti? Do we have an entry here to 11? 30 cents.
It's fascinating to me to come back and see Rigetti still part of the conversation, or back as part of the conversation, maybe I should say.
Yep.
Doesn't look like it's actually
Still
done all
hanging.
that the last couple of weeks, but it's getting volume again, eh? Interesting.
INTC. Yeah, tech is having a big day today. Tech is having at least Nvidia. TSM, Apple starting to do something here. Apple could be a good long above the previous day close, at least towards the high of the day. All right, let's go long Apple. Long Apple. Stop here is 210.50. So we're gonna give it a little bit. I would like to be below the VWAP, but that's way too far out, so we can't do that. So 210.50 will be the stop for us. Let's see if we can get a breakout above the VWAP on this one. 211 was a pre-market high. 211.61. Let's see if we can hold that. Did a nice VWAP breakout. I just wasn't watching it, so that could have been a good entry as well down here. Let's see if it can hold. You did? I missed it, Rachel. Yeah, I missed it. This is a good. Yeah, this is a good breakout pullback, and then here's your entry. But I didn't see a text, man. We're active today in chat, friends. We got a lot going on, so thank you guys for being here. If you haven't done so already, also hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Where are we sitting at today? I haven't not even looked this morning.
That's a good question.
Long Apple. Let's go. Let's get to 211.60.
Apple? Yeah, Apple's got to get up over that. Yeah, the high that it set right after the open.
Oh, and Joe, you called it too? Nice. I like the fact that you guys know how I trade and you guys are calling out things that I would look for. That's awesome. But I missed it, right? The chat's been very active, so I missed it. Sorry, guys. But yeah, that's a great setup for what we look for right in here above the VWAP. Things are strong. Rigetti. $266. That is not a way to welcome Peter back, friends. That is not the way we do this.
Oh, wow.
Let's get Peter very warm welcome, friends. Let's get to at least 400. Let's get half, right? Even if you don't like the show, but we got to welcome Peter back properly. Even if you're like, this show's okay, it doesn't matter whether you like the show or not anymore. This is all about Peter. Let's get 400. Then you can not like us tomorrow, but today's a must. Okay, let's do this right. All right, let's see here. Apple, good buddy. Let's see if Apple can make it happen here. Just like twice. No, don't like twice. Don't hit it twice. Hit it 3 times. 3 times or once. You can't do twice. Twice is no good. Hit the button once, or if you really want to, 3 times, but not twice.
Yeah, because then you just take it off, don't you?
Yeah, you just take off the like. Oh, man. All right, so we got a little bit of support. This market, I got to go on Bloomberg. What is going on with this market? It feels like something happened. I mean, besides you being back, Peter, of course, it's the main event. But it feels like something else happened.
I don't think that's the market main event, but yeah, we did sort of get a change of sentiment there about.
Yes, right.
Well, probably about 20 minutes after the open, where suddenly things started to move. Let's see, what have we got news-wise? Did anything happen?
I mean, look at Apple go. I mean, Nvidia's going. The SPY is pushing higher. This is a beautiful thing, friends. Let's check American Airlines. My goodness, that is looking very nice. Very nice, very nice. Oh yeah, it's a good day. Apple.
I don't really see any market news.
I don't either. I don't see anything that's sticking out, but we are loving this this volatility. Rigetti did the breakout. Actually, no, we saw it at around 1070 earlier. Hasn't really done anything. JD back to the VWAP. Where's our good buddy Baba? Did the breakout, but just slacking volume. Hood higher. HIMS at the VWAP. QBTS lost it here a little bit. And Apple is trying to get to our first target, 211.60. That'll be our 1R. We'll see how it acts there, because I think this thing just wants to go higher if the market keeps going like this. Joe, did they cancel additional tariffs? China? I didn't see that. I know they worked out a deal, but I didn't see anything as far as additional tariffs being canceled by China. So they canceled 2 of their later rounds. Okay, yeah, that could be good. CPI positive. Yes, I did see that, but it just seems like like the last 30 minutes or so, we're getting like a change, or maybe like last 15 minutes, right? Like a change in the way the market's been acting here. So just seems that way. Apple pulling back a bit here. 210.50 will be our stop on this thing.
You're trying Apple, eh? So,
Yeah.
Good luck. I hope Apple goes for you.
Yeah, because I mean, I've seen everything go up, and I was trying to look for something that can possibly be reacting with the SPY, although Apple tends to do its own thing most times. But the SPY, man, it's on a tear. Look at that. It's just going up and up. So I like the way Apple was close to the previous day close here for a possible breakout. We could use that as support. At least get to the, you got to at least get to the high of the day with this bullish momentum that we're in. So see if we can at least get a 50 cents out of this. We'll be very happy with that. Yeah, and Nvidia is the winner today, friends. No question. Nvidia is just unreal, man. And this move, it started much earlier. Like if you look at 121, that was the low of the pre-market, 121.65. And the pre-market started moving higher. Market opens, it never looked back. Like, it is just on a complete tear. So hold on, shorts. Hold on. This is not looking good for you. Yeah, always in hindsight, Ivory took profits too quickly on Nvidia. I'm sure you and many others as well, right? Because usually this is not what we normally get, and as traders, we're gonna take profit when we move up here. So yeah, yep. Get you 100% on that. That would have been me too. If I had an entry here, I would have been partial on into strength, and I would have been sitting here close to 130 saying, yeah, partial too quickly, partial too aggressive. It's usually the case. Joe says, Carlos, do you think about false breakouts versus follow-throughs with ORBs? For example, Coin and POTR look strong, but then are now flat. So let's go. Yeah, but this is a 5-minute ORB on Coin was tough because it got extended very quickly. And if you look at that 5-minute, actually it's not that bad because it did consolidate. It consolidated pretty good here, and then it gave you another breakout here. So, but yeah, if you're right, you don't get a lot of the continuation. So I actually saw this one because I had it on my list. It was on my main list, but I didn't see a good possible 5-minute ORB here just because how fast it broke out. Now if I look at POTR, on the other hand, this was much cleaner, but then the pullback needs to be here, right? You got to get a nice pullback to get a better entry, or else that 5-minute ORB the risk reward is a little bit tough on here as well. So again, but both of these, I don't see them great for 5-minute ORBs for the way I would trade them here. And if you look at the 5-minute chart, if you look at this one here, same thing. It kind of gave you a little bit of a struggle. No, where's it here, right? So not struggle. I'm sorry. Look at something else. Here's the opening range. You did get a small pullback there, right? Which you can enter here, but I find this to be a bit extended on the 1 minute, right? So you gotta be careful on that one. That's just my thoughts on it, you know. So SMCI still going, yeah. SMCI, oh yeah, SMCI was another one. That SMCI, and I forgot to mention HIMS too, that are just exploded, man. Like it's wild. It's wild. SMCI and Nvidia, I think, right? SMCI was also very good, you know. But Nvidia too, man. Nvidia was really nice. Apple trying to hold the previous day close here. Let's see if we can, pulling back a little bit, trying to get to 2160. Our stop is 210.50, so just slightly above the VWAP now. Nice, man. Props. Yeah, no, SMC, yeah, this is, I mean, it's up 10%, right? If you talk about percentages, yeah, SMCI is it's on fire. On fire. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't. UNH is struggling. Every time it gets a little pullback, it's right back down to the low of the day. This is going to go lower. It has that feeling that it's just going to drop even further down, as you can see here. It has that feel. Let's see. Hood, another one, guys, that we didn't talk about, right? Hood had the initial move up, went sideways for a little bit here, then continuing now. So that's good too. Yeah, man, beautiful place today, guys. Beautiful stuff. Who is the preacher? Love your neighbors? Or love thy neighbor? Well, what version are you reading, my friend? King James, or are you reading the new stuff? King James is tough to read, man. It is brutal. When I was a little kid, man. See, I don't know why they made us read the King James version. It was so tough. I'm like, man, and I went to church in Spanish, so Spanish is I find it even easier. I think English, the Bible's even harder for me. But yeah, it's Spanish was tough. Like, what does that mean? You know, as an 8-year-old kid, like, what does that mean, Dad? I don't know what that means. Like, you got to break this down to me. Like, I need Google translation or something. You know?
Wow.
POTR stuff happening on Apple. If you can read the site, you can read the King James version. Well, now it's different, but back then when I was a child, man, it was, they should have had it. You know, I grew up in a poor country, so there was not like, oh, there's a kids version. There's like, oh, like now there's all kinds of versions. No. This is the one you're gonna get, like everybody else. That's all we could afford. This is the one you're having. There's no kid versions with pictures. No. There was none of that. Like, this is the book, thick, big letters. That's what you get. So now everybody has all kinds of versions and pictures and this and that, and yeah. DR. I grew up in the Dominican Republic. Here's Apple. Let's go, baby. Let's get something out of this. James was like a dictionary without no meaning. Yeah, you need to have a dictionary next to it. That's for sure. That is for sure. All right, here we go. Where something's happening. Good times, good times. In old Spanish. Yeah, it's tougher to read. I find it tough to read. Again, I grew up in church, so it was tough back then, but much easier now. Nice. Yeah, I lived in the Bronx. I lived in Washington Heights. Went to Queens a couple of times, Astoria, Brooklyn, Bushwick Ave.
Wow.
Been everywhere, man. The boroughs.
Classic.
Yes.
SMCI having a day. It's moving higher here.
I take it back. Who said that SMCI was the best one today? You're right. It is the best one today.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. This is an animal.
Look at it. It had a second life here, taken off about 15 minutes ago.
It's just wild. Yeah. Staten Island. Very nice. Very nice. I never went to Staten Island as far as living there or spending a lot of time there. I lived in the Heights. The Heights was fun, man. The Heights was fun. It's once you move out, and the Heights, by the way, is uptown. You have Manhattan Island. For those that don't know, you have Manhattan, and then Washington Heights is like the upside, the uptown part of Manhattan, like where you come off the George Washington Bridge, and that's like Dominican Central. Like all the Dominicans live there. That's like Washington Heights. So yeah, I lived there for a while. It was fun when I was younger. But once you move out of the city, man, you're like, wow, why do people decide to live so crowded on top of each other? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. And parking, Peter? Oh my goodness. We'll spend hours looking for a parking spot. And the minute I was like 15, still with no license, my dad just, you take the car, you look for parking, I'm going to bed. And he'd leave me with the car looking for parking. And I loved it because I want any excuse to drive around the block. Even if it was just around the block just to look for parking. I want any excuse to get behind the wheel. I was in. Right. So good times.
Wow. I can't imagine living like that. I really can't. Let's see.
When you're a kid, it's the best, man. All your friends are there. I mean, it's awesome. When you get older, it's yeah. I want my home with a driveway and all the good stuff. So
look at. Okay, somebody was pointing out in the chat room, the SPY sort of making a mountain pass type pattern here. It did actually get good volume when it hit the high of day. It retested a little bit lower.
Which one? So I go bring it up, Peter? Which one?
SPY itself.
Oh, SPY. Yep.
Yeah. So it's not. I said I sort of rated it a B- type setup. It looks like it might actually work here if you're looking at it, but that's a little. It was just a little early for my setup, and we'll see here. See what the NVIDIA does, for example, at this level. But am I looking for too much perfection? I don't know.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
how are you, Andrew?
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. We joined you guys to see what are you guys up to.
Yeah, we're having a little party here.
Nice.
We,
So how
we
was
we
your
were
trade,
we were
guys?
frustrated with you on your Tesla trade. We were like,
Tesla,
what
yeah.
the heck, man?
I know Paris did a really amazing trade on Paris did an amazing trade on Tesla, so he stayed in there as well. Unfortunately, I chickened out, and yeah, very very frustrated of myself as well.
Yeah.
Um,
But as we
did
were
you guys
saying,
have?
that can happen to anybody. It's sort
Yeah.
of good to see, Andrew, that you're not immune to that. I mean, we've all had those trades where you're in the right position. You had the right analysis. Just sometimes because of the first loss or whatever the reason is, you just don't have that confidence to stick with it. So it
So
happens.
there's a lot of elements happening right now in me. For example, as you know, I had this covered calls on SPY, and the market is ripping, and
Mhm.
I'm not making any money. I'm not losing any money, but I'm not really making any money. Like this rip of 2-3%. I said, oh man, it's just behind my mind this regret of what happened to me, and how can I fix it, and how can I roll it. That is something that again is really behind my mind. So, and it does impact my decision making. So even I was thinking of maybe I just change my accounts a little bit and get the other ones. I don't see the other accounts right in front of me, so I can actually focus on day trading. There are so many things happening, but um, yeah, Tesla at the open it was super choppy, and I knew that this is not like Nvidia or PLTR, but Paris did a really amazing trade. I don't know if you showed Paris trading as well or not.
No, we could bring it up.
I
I didn't
did,
see
yeah.
his yet.
Yeah, if Paris shows his, I think he had a great trade. Is exactly like me, actually better than me. So it was amazing. I know Phil also did a very nice trade on NVIDIA on the calls. So from $2 to 3.5. So we had really some
Yeah,
amazing trade. Brian also did a really nice NVIDIA call trades at the
yeah,
open.
yeah. Yeah, I just jumped in fairly quickly. I just decided I'd focus on Nvidia at the open, and but yeah, there were breakouts all over the place here today.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, it wasn't red for me. Like I made only $1,000, which is not bad. I'll take it. I'll go for to get a good lunch for myself, and um, I can survive that.
Well,
It's good to have you
that's good.
back, Peter. Really
Oh,
good to have
thank
you back.
you. That's quite a lunch. I don't think I've ever spent $1,000 a lunch, but you know what? You have that caviar.
Well, I've spent $1,000 on your lunch before, so but I'll say-
I
so
thought you
whenever
used to do that
we
thousand
go.
dollar lunches in your corporate days, Peter.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough. But I mean, not as a single individual, certainly as a
Peter
group.
is really good at spending other people's money. I
Yeah,
know Peter almost
good at
10
it.
years now. He's really good at it. Um,
Absolutely. Corporate's got to
um,
teach you some skills.
yeah. So the end of So the 4th of July, I'm actually going to New York City to ring the bell for NASDAQ. That's July
Oh,
3rd. If
cool.
anyone is around New York City, maybe we can hang out. I think I'm going to fly 2nd to 5th or something like that. That would be nice.
That's amazing. Why are you doing that?
Well, NASDAQ invited me to come and ring the bell for the closing on the July 3rd because I lost so much money. They said you might as well come and do ding, 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 ding.
So
They
consolation
say
It's
you might
all
prize.
as well get
all the
this one.
fees and commission you have made for them. They're like, listen, this guy's let's bring him in here and ring the bell, man. He's making us a lot
Yeah,
of
let's give
commissions.
him something. He deserves it. Yeah, so he deserves it. So this is Paris trade on Tesla. So
Okay.
you can see it on my screen. So it was great trading. So again, Paris did two trades at the open. He got a very nice run on it. And the second trade, he started buying below the VWAP. I think he's trading because of the order flows. It's a different. I'm the chart pattern trader. He's looking at the order flow. So I took this trade essentially. So this one, and I added here, but I got out too early. But he actually get this massive run, and then he started added back on the pullback, and eventually got stopped out. So, but that second trade would have been a very nice profitable trade for him. But again, people trade differently. I'm a chart pattern trader. His order flow, like everybody, Thor is doing his, VPA and his own indicators. People see differently. I think Brian is also more like a chart pattern trader like me.
Yes. Yeah. And I've been using Bookmap a little bit more, s- sort of seeing where levels are.
Yeah.
But really,
So,
that
any question,
yeah,
guys? Let's get some questions.
Yeah. Anybody have
Any
questions out there?
questions?
Ask Andrew.
Let's get some questions in the chat room on YouTube. I don't think I'm going to make any other trade. It doesn't seem that there's much going on right now, unless NVIDIA is giving us a really good pullback for 920. I don't think I'm going to make any other trade. I'll just accept this $1,000.
Nvidia still looks like it wants to go to 130.
Yeah, NVIDIA is just keeps
There's
pushing higher.
yeah, there are sellers that are front running that 130 getting out.
So the book is almost ready, Michael. So the final edit is complete. Maybe by the end of next week, I'm gonna publish it. Yeah. So maybe we can put it also on a pre-order as well. Thanks for the follow-up. It's actually a very big book. So it took a lot of figures, a lot of thought process, a lot of analysis. One chapter is example of a couple of other people's trade book and how some of our traders in Peak Capital trade book. So the book is about how to build a system rather than just one or two strategy. So can you share your thought on overall market? So I think the market is going to probably see all-time high very soon. So the thing is, all the negative news from the market has gone out. So it seems that the trade war is almost over. So all the parties agree to make a deal. It looks like the inflation is also down. So it seems that there is not a lot of negative news coming into the market. It seems that the Ukraine and Russia war is going to come to an end soon as well. So it seems that there is really no resistance in the market. So it should keep going higher unless something happens.
Yeah, you would think.
Does it make sense in these prices? I don't know, but if there's no negative news, market it just keeps going higher, and that's how all of these 401 contributions, everyone 401k contributions, everybody, all this money is going to go into the market somewhere. So, and it doesn't seem that there is a systematic risk in the market, like a financial crisis or something like that. At least not we are aware of. The biggest risk to the whole financial market is the huge U.S. national debt. But that's not something new. Everybody knows about that. And eventually, it's going to blow up something. Like Ray Dalio is constantly always talking about how countries go broke and debt cycle. And it's not crazy. He has a point. But the question is that debt cycle crisis might happen, next week, next year, or 2 years, or another 10 years. We can have that one. What about you, Brian? What's your thought on the overall market?
Yeah, no, I 100% think accurate. That's sort of my read on it right now. I think there's, now people are looking for tax cut. The next thing that's gonna push things up. We got past CPI data today, was relatively benign. So yeah, I just seems like this market's going to go higher. So what was my entry on Nvidia? Well, my thought process on Nvidia on the trade was I was looking at three stocks, primarily PLTR, HIMS, and Nvidia, and I liked all three of them actually. I liked the way we were going into the open. You could kind of see buyers starting to step in 3 to 4 minutes before we even opened. So I kind of felt like all those stocks were going to run, but I chose to focus on Nvidia. So I was watching Nvidia, and basically what happened was as stocks usually do when they gap up, there's a bit of selling. So I was just watching that selling to subside, and pretty much as soon as we started to break to a new high of day, that's when I got in the calls. So I was trading calls. I wasn't trading the actual stock. So I got in around 205 on the calls, 125s, 125 calls, but could have done it with the stock too. I mean, it didn't really matter. Um, one goes up, the other goes up. So yeah, I was just waiting for that, those, and I was just watching the price action and watching the VWAP level, and everything aligned for a strong breakout once we got past that initial profit taking.
So another question is that when you're trading TSLL or TQQ, do you watch the level two of those leveraged ETFs derivatives, or you actually watch the level two of the Tesla or Qs? You have it always look at the level two and the price action of the underlying, the main one, because TQQ and TSLL, they're all like a shadow of the price action of Tesla or Qs. So you always have to look at the main one. So the level two on TSLL doesn't mean anything. You have to look at the level two on Tesla itself. They're essentially like your shadow. Like when you want to try close on, you want to put it on yourself, not on your shadow. So it's just the price action is exactly the same on intraday. Another question was that does shorting requires more skill than being long? So depending on the type of shorting that you do, the type of trade that I do, no. The shorting and going long is pretty much the same. So if you flip the chart, you should be able to trade the short. There are one level of shorting is like shorting these penny stocks. And there are some communities that they're really focused on shorting these hard to borrow stocks. That's a completely different style of trading. Some traders, or some communities, the only thing that they do is pretty much is they're shorting these low float stocks, these hard to borrow, and then they have different brokers that they give them this hard to borrow, and then they can short those ones. That's a completely different style, and yes, it's very difficult, very dangerous because of the short squeeze and also the high cost of the commission and high cost of borrowing. But for my style of trading, opening range breakout or breakdown, if you flip the chart, it should be the same. Having said that, I'm mostly a long trader just because my mind can see the patterns for the long breakout easier than short breakout. And also the market generally goes up. So always you have this, the wind tail towards you that,
Sort of
market
bias.
always goes up. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like a
long
bias
bias.
to
Yeah.
the upside. Market's rolling over a little bit here.
Yeah. So the first $1 million that I made, I think, was a pandemic. I think the pandemic 2020 was my first $1 million. Um, the other questions is let's see what any other question in the chat room that we have.
How did you do the membership 2 times this week? No, don't think so.
So how many stocks do you usually focus? I usually look at 4 or 5 stocks at the same time, plus any tip that is coming from the community. And I usually try to hold the 2 or 3 day trade position, not more than that. So right now, the positions that I'm having is, I think I am holding 4 positions, but they're all position and longer term position. So I have VO, which is a SPY. I have covered calls on them. I have TQQ, and I have covered calls short on TQQ as well. So these positions that don't require any management during the day. But if I want to trade, I trade maximum 2 or 3 position day trade, so not so many, because I'm also using a lot of my buying power on each position, so I don't have a lot of buying power.
Yeah, I'm pretty much I have 4 or 5 stocks on my watch list, but as the market as we get closer to the market open, I tend to like to just focus on 1 or 2 stocks, the ones I think look most promising. Just like this morning, where I had a couple more stocks on my watch list, but but I was looking at either HIMS, PLTRH, or NVIDIA. Um, so it's at the open. It's hard to really focus on more than two stocks until things settle down a bit.
So yeah, I grew a small account. My account was $30,000. My charts and my trades are in my new book that how I actually grew. Buriza, I think I'm getting more and more serious to move to the East Coast. So I really like the time zone of the East Coast. Like this morning I woke up and I said, oh man, it would have been nice if market opens. Like imagine like right now it's 7:46 a.m. Imagine like to be on the East Coast. Like I think I might actually move to East Coast eventually. We'll see.
For trading options, you because really when you're trading options, you're really trading the price of the stock. So it's really better to and there's so many other variables with trading options, like which strike price you use and which expiry date. I mean, typically when you're trading, when you're day trading, you're using in close to in the money options, and you're trading with Nvidia. I'm obviously trading the weeklies, which is expiring this Friday. um, but it's probably better to learn how to day trade just using stocks before graduating to moving on to options, just because options can be a little more volatile. PLTR is breaking out here on an all-time a new high here today. If people are still long PLTR, there's a big order at 125. Not surprising. Wow. Yeah, you got about 30,000 shares PLTR. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, don't try to rationalize some of these prices on some of these stocks here. PLTR is really, we've looked at the PE, and there's just some stocks that just defy fundamental analysis. And PLTR has that sort of, it's the meme stocks that are really fall into that category. So don't um, don't fall into a trap of rationalizing that the stock's overpriced because the PE is too high. What time sales set on Bookmap? It's a good question. 5 minutes. Each increment here is 5 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like about 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. 125 on PLTR. It's coming. Here we go. Big volume push through there. Well, if you look at, when you looked at some of the craziness that went on during the pandemic with GME, I mean, I don't know at what point GME, where it topped out, where the PE ratio was on that thing, but the other thing you have to be aware of is like a stock like HIMS. HIMS has 34% short interest. So a lot of the shorts probably getting squeezed here. It looks like Nvidia is going to go to 130 now. Tesla's popping back up.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Things
Tesla's
are going
back
pretty good.
near near R4. Yeah, Meta's had a good day too.
TQQ is popping up again. What a great week. It's probably one of the best weeks that market had so far.
Yeah, the 125 order was on the ask. Yeah.
Some CI is also running up like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, UNH was a nice rising devil. Could have traded that too. This was typical. It's set up nicely for a sell off. Was gapping down on news, trading below the VWAP, going into the open, getting weaker as we got closer to the open, and then it popped up, hit the VWAP. That's where on a rising devil trade, that's where you would have shorted it, and then immediately started to sell off. So again, lots of trading opportunities today. I think there's got to be a bottom here on UNH. It's so oversold. To see if we can find, might have to be a go to a monthly level to see if we can see some area of support here.
All
Could
right.
be
So
around, could be around 300.
it is going to go through 130.
Yep,
Pierre did a nice
it's
trade and
trying.
short on UNH.
Yeah, so here's UNH, PE of 13 and a half, forward PE of 10 and a half, and PLTR is trading at what, like 400. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's all about growth. Yeah, the rising devil is a short strategy. Stock gapping down, trading below the VWAP, looking weak going into the open. Pop up short at the VWAP, and then use a stop just above the VWAP. They went back to high of day on the Qs, kind of rejected. This HCWB has been wacky all day.
Yeah, CWB is a nightmare.
I
It
know
is.
it's been halted like I don't know how many times now. Once, twice, three times, four times, five, six. I think this is the seventh halt. Amazon crawling back up. Microsoft is really close to all-time high here. 450-ish. Netflix all-time high right now is Netflix had a bad day yesterday, was down 1162. There you go, 130 on Nvidia. Didn't really
Nice.
think it was
Yeah,
going to
that
get
was
there
big.
today. Kind
Yeah, there was a big huge
kind
ask
of
on it
thought,
as well. 6%.
yeah, kind of thought maybe 129.50 was going to be the top here.
Microsoft also gapped up significantly after the earning. What a market. What a beautiful market. We love it. What a beautiful market. All right. So, any more question, guys?
Yeah. Is AMD doing? Is AMD busting out too? Yeah. Oh, AMD is popping. Yeah.
And the huge volume. What's happening? Ooh, 500,000 shares volume. Wow.
Yeah, that was a big volume move. 115 looks like an area that would be resistance for AMD now. Maybe they got named by the Saudis. They like
Wow.
AMD chips better.
Elon Musk is also in Saudi, huh? NVIDIA news. Is there NVIDIA news again? Wow, AMD was just really ripped. As soon as we mentioned that, they
Yeah.
Tesla, what did Tesla do? Yeah, Tesla didn't really rally. Yeah, accuser ripping. Yeah, this
Wow.
AMD looks like accuse.
M's just kind of rolled over here. All right, it's 8 o'clock. I hope
All
everyone had a
right,
good
it's
morning here.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Thor is coming to the chat room. YouTube guys, thank you so much. So we are having a webinar today by Thor. Thor is doing a webinar for all the elite members. And yeah, if you haven't joined us, guys, feel consider joining us in the chat room and in the webinar room. We'd love to have you guys on YouTube. And Mr. Pezim, that was great for you coming back. Market is really rallying. That's
Yeah.
great. These are the type of days that we'd love to have.
Yes.
And Paris is coming into the YouTube and Thor into the chat room, guys. So I'm signing up from.
Thank you, everybody. We'll catch y'all later. Have a good rest of the morning.
Okay, how is everyone on YouTube? What's up, guys? Why is my face, my hair are being focused? I have no idea. Uh, where is my face? Hey, Adrian. Yeah, I killed it today. Yeah, I think Carlos is gonna fix it soon. So we'll see. Oh, I think maybe it's no. My fan doesn't even make a noise. I can't even hear my fan. How can the mic hear it? Okay, awesome. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so I am back in business, guys, after made back yesterday's loss and more. So back with a bang. Uh, if guys, if you want to understand how a good held bid looks like on how do you identify buyers, man, and now Tesla is giving back all of its gains. Did anybody say anything in the Saudi Arabia? Now things are looking very aggressive on the downside. So what happened? There's some news for sure. Oh, I love Tesla. Tesla has always been, and I was not wrong about Nvidia too yesterday. I was trying to long Nvidia because I was able to see those buyers and see today. What the hell? It's up 10% from yesterday. It's insane. Oh God. Yeah, I did not touch it. I was thinking about longing it, uh, but no way in my head I was thinking that it would rally like this. I was thinking that maybe it pulls back and then breaks out, and I think this was a very good long. Like this is a very good engulfing and then pulls back, and this 125 is a perfect area to go long. But I was trading Tesla at that point of time, so I couldn't manage both positions. So Tesla, and I thought Tesla had a chance uh, for a breakout to 327. 327 was a daily level that I was looking at. Uh, So 327, it has been it. So the way the character of a stock on Tesla is, let me bring up the Epic pen. So this was we talked about in the past, this 290 and 275 area consolidated very good. And a day before it broke out of 290, close below 300, and this was the gap up. I think entire market was gapped up on the China news. And then it held it, and that's a good thing. When a stock is gapped up and it holds its stock and holds up pretty nicely, and which was yesterday. And if you look at the stock on Tesla yesterday, it held it very nicely. So it was gapped up and it held the gap. The entire day, it was kind of choppy. It sold off at the open, then tried to bot back up. So if you look at this was like a sell-off and then came back to the same price. So held it, held it, held it, held it, held it. Now what happens is it tried to gap down in the post market, but was gapped up above around close to 320 in the pre-market. And that's a good sign for a long. So if you look at this in the pre-market, if you see here, this was gapped up above 320 in the pre-market, and it was gapped down and rallied, gapped up, held the 319.20 area. And I was thinking that, okay, where do I get these 319.50 and 317.49? I'll show you where did I get this. So if you look at the daily, sorry, not daily, 30-minute chart. Let's look at the 30-minute chart. So if I zoom in here, so if you look at this, 319.50 was the area that was a strong resistance. Every single time it goes here, there was a rejection. And in this case, 317.50 was the buy area that every single time it was buying, it tried to drop below this 317.50, but it tried to go below it. It did not sell. It rather closed above the exact same price. And this area, even the post market held that to a 317.50. So these two areas were very important to me in this case. So if it sells off below 317.50, then the chances are it goes lower. And if it holds the 317.50 and even 319.50, then the chances are it goes higher, breaks the this is the previous day close level. So not the previous day close, the daily level. And the daily level, if you see, what does that daily level come from? Let's see where this daily level come from. So this daily level comes from this area. So if you see here, this was the area where it bounced from, this was the area it bounced from, and this is where it sells. So this is a very strong daily level that I would be interested when it comes around this area. So that's how I got my daily level from. So, and that's how I execute it. So now when things come in, now I know my area of interest. I know where my technically wrong is. What I'm doing is now I'm trying to focus how the stock opens and how the stock reacts. So now let's look at how the stock reacted. So stock bounced, sold off at the open, and then bounced exactly at the point that I was interested in. And 318 was the buyer that had held by the bid, very strong. And why is that happening? So now let's zoom in a little bit. And now that when it bounced from the 3117.50 and 318 hold, I went long. I added tier 2 size because 318 was a very strong bid. And when it claimed this, I was like, okay, now it's going to squeeze to the upside, broke, and then go higher. This is exactly what my thought process was. I even added heavy at the break of 319.50. As soon as it breaks the 319.50, it broke the high of the day, and I was like, nah.
EBG Verona shares hitting 438.69 at the high of 5%.
Okay. And then I was like, okay, now I'm in a driver's seat. This can easily rally to the upside. And then what I was thinking is 320 needs to hold. It was trying to hold. 320 was trying to hold, and I was thinking, okay, now it's gonna break. It did not. And as soon as it lost the 319.50 and stopped me out at break even. So that was my break even point. Exactly at this area, I'm gonna stop out. But now what happens is it comes down again, that 318 level holds. That 318 is not willing to drop. And I start seeing those, though my level is 317.50, but I'm finding a buyer at 318. So I'm using that buyer to buy, and this is when I went with tier 1 size, I went with tier 2 size, and then tier 3 size for a pop to the high of the day. And then it tried to reject, and then very quickly it rejected the 320 again, and then came down. And I was using 318 as my entry. I was giving 317.50 loss at the for the stop out. It did cut out, it did drop me. I cut my size here because I want the stock to close below 317.50, but it never closed. I cut my size here, and then I said, okay, if it closes, I'll completely get out. But it never did, and it was bought back again. Then 318 again held the bid. The 318 kept holding that bid, and I was like, okay, let me get back in. In like I was tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I cut my tier 3 size, got back into my tier 3 size, then added more, and scaled out to this thing because I want to hold that big size. And that risking of 50 cents to $1 doesn't but when you're capturing those $8 to $10 move, that's a very high risk reward. And then I scaled out to my on my exit strategy, and then try to add more, but I got stopped out at break even. So very good day. Hit my goal, more than over the goal. So yeah. And that's the only stock that I traded. I did not touch anything. PLTR. I think all the other stocks were very strong as well. PLTR was very strong as well. I did not touch anything else. Yeah, close to 125. Nvidia is very strong. So Paras, will we continue up for the rest of the day? I think Nvidia had I think Nvidia is not Nvidia is at a place where it is going to be strong for the rest of the day. Tesla is not at the place where it would be strong the rest of the day. It can be. Oh wow, it sold off and very strong bounce to the upside. 320, it again held the 319.46. This is the area that I was interested in. It bounced very perfectly from there. And but Nvidia is that thing that you can scalp to the short side right here. Like this is 130. It tried to break that 130, rejected that 130, and 130 was at daily level too. If you look at my blue line, this is, where did I get that daily level? 130. Yeah, right here, exactly at the point that I was. If you see here, this was the 130 area, a bounce from here, and now it exactly rejected from there. So these levels are magic, as Andrew would call it. So yeah, now 130, does it completely sells off? I don't think so. Maybe it comes back to 129, 128.50, and then holds, and then just tries to hold at a higher price and be on the, chop up, down, up, down. So Lan, I use a 30-minute chart and a daily chart for my levels. So coach, I made back the yesterday's loss and up higher. Stopping when the stock has a large gap doesn't change your perspective on where the stock may be go. Stopping from the stock when a stock has a large gap. I'm not sure if I get your question. Stopping when a stock has a large gap doesn't change your perspective on whether the stock may go. So anything that gaps up or gap down, it's usually they're gap up for a reason. Like for example, UNH today, right? I was like, even though it was gap uh down so much, there was not even a single thing I had in my mind to long it. It is a down for a reason. Sellers are gonna be aggressive. I would love to short this stock. I would never think about longing the stock at this point. And because there is a catalyst to it, uh, Tesla and Nvidia, they tend to move around with news and etc. 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 But if a stock is gapped up for a reason, the chances are they continue on the higher. Same with coin today. I think coin was up 10%. And do you think you want to short the coin? I don't think so. See this? Pop up and just continues to, like, there's only limited way, and this is how the stocks trade. They just step up, step up, step up, and they rally, tight, 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 and then boom. And then same with Nvidia today. Every stock, usually, if they're gapped up on a, see, this is an exception, Usually stocks don't move that way, like straight up right here, straight up, with no major pullback, like this, boom, 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 and then up. And now it's like gonna chop around, try to hold this area 129.50, and then hold this area for a little bit, break this area of 131 maybe at the close. That's what's gonna happen, but it is gonna be strong all day. I do not anticipate this to be uh, uh, a weak stock. So LAN, that 31749, 31749, I don't think there was 31749 was from the previous day. That was from the previous day. Yeah, it's not a short, guys. It's not a short. Nvidia is not a short. Doesn't, like, it's up so much. Somebody tried to slam it and they absorbed it. Somebody slammed it and they absorbed it. It's not a short, guys. And the absorption is crazy. See, there people are slamming the bids 130, 18, 16, 14, 10, 14 again, 14, 12, 11, 1. Now the bids are trying to take over. Now the sellers are trying to take over, but very much the slow form, not like aggressive form. They're trying to step down for sure, but in a slow form. So 130, 1, 130 or 2, 130 or 3. Yeah, see the absorption, guys. Now it's back above 140.08. 11, 12, 13. Yeah, not a short for me. It's trying to short again, and the volume is there. There is still a very high bullish order book. Yeah, I'm not gonna short it. It feels tempting to be honest, but PLTR is UNH. So Robin, it's always safe to play that trend. Always. Like if you are in the trend, uh, so one of the things, I think very good question. How do I control my emotions after a big red or a green day? And I like the fact that you're not just asking for a big red day. Uh, even a big green day creates a lot of emotions, and um, you tend to have like become over proud, and you tend to feel that you are best, and you figure it out, and you're gonna be you have figured out the secret sauce of making money, and then you get overconfident and all of that. And that's usually one of those like I've struggled through this. Like I've made back good money, and then I'm overconfident, and then I give back all the profits, and then eventually market humbles you. And that's why it's said that you have to go through that learning curve to be able to get that initially, and that's where the experience comes from. You have to go through that journey. There is no other way. As a human being, you will go through those emotions. No human being is uh, you know, can trade without emotions not at stake. How you capitalize on your emotions is a different thing. Uh, Emotions are a good thing. People say that emotions are a bad thing. Emotions are actually a good thing. If you do not have emotions, uh, like you would be able to capitalize on some opportunities with depending on the emotions that you feel, or you'll be able to get out of some of those negative plays because of the emotions that you feel. So emotions are usually a good thing. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is uh, not to be overconfident on the green days, and not to be uh, blaming yourself and very critic to yourself on the red days. It's a part of the game. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's the end of the year or end of the month or end of the week that matters. One day doesn't do anything to you. You have to uh, you have to be in a position to correct yourself very quickly. Don't wait for uh, a week or a month's data to come up or change things that are not doing good. Use even like days data or use even like multiple trades data if you're not in the right frame of mind and correct yourself. PLTR is breaking out. Nvidia is around that to 130 choppy area. PLTR is strong. PLTR, man, I can't believe PLTR is just broke the all-time high. Holy crap. It broke the all-time high, 120, 125. Yeah, PLTR. Wow. Now the new buyers are gonna get in. So it did break the 125. So I mean, at least have 30,000 if you're in US. Start with 30K. That gives you a good leverage. 30K gives you around 120K of buying power. Yeah, see this guys, Nvidia. The, Usually people would short this area. This is when things are strong like this, they do not tend to go much far. Even though the worst case scenario, I would think that for now it would be 129.50 and bounce from there, and it would continue to be strong, 129.50 or 129 max. Yeah, Tesla long. Yeah, I want to see 322 hold. Currently, 322 is not holding. 322 or 321.50. This area is a tight area. So I want to see 322 hold. And the reason I'm saying that is that if you see here, 322 was the bounce area. At least on the day you're able to tell this, right? And then this area was the area of 323.50 is the area of rejection. It tried to pop up once, but then rejected really hard, bounced from this, it rejected again. But if it comes back below this, ideally people would be shorting here, 322. But if it claims the 322 and rises above and holds the 322 area, that's when I would be thinking about long. Just blindly trading the VWAP would not give you a lot of edge. You have to combine a lot of things together. Like, yes, VWAP, it's trying to hold and trying to see, but and 321 is also a good area of buy because it's a bounce area. So 321, 322 area is a good area to buy. But would I buy here? It can be a chop. I would try to wait for a volume to come in and claim the 322 right here for it to break the high. But it's like, eventually it is trying to trend down. It maybe come back to 323 again and then reject and then be choppy and try to hold the price. The idea is to hold the price on this until there is a new catalyst that comes in and breaks to 330. Then it's a different scenario, but the move is done. I would say that the thing that I would want to see is either it holds the price all day, uh, and maybe it holds above 390 or holds above 320. That's what I would want to see for a continued bullish scenario. But would I trade it? I don't. The move is done. This is the time of chop. Goes up and down. if you really want to trade it, you want to think more in terms of PLTR. PLTR is that PLTR is at that place where this is the time where this was the time where you can, this continued to sell out, but then it stepped up, and now it's stepping up. This also pulled back, held it very nicely, broke up. This was the all-time high break at this area, and now it's continued to rally. And usually when stock breaks the all-time high, they tend to rally. And can we go to 130? Of course, yeah. But now the question is your risk reward. Where do you wanna enter? Like a good entry would have been 125 for the continuation. Then, or if it comes back to 125.50, that would be a good entry. But would I want to take the break of high? Maybe John might be taking this, but not my process. John is good at taking the break of highs of the day. And I think today would have been a lot of opportunities for John. But for me, I like to trade the pullbacks. I like to trade for better entries and better risk rewards. So I wouldn't touch it. But you want to be in the right stock. You want to be in the right stock to trade. So, Taz, if you are outside the US, start with the offshore, there is a PDT rule in US. So if you are in US and you trade with the US broker and for a day trading, you have to be a minimum balance of 25,000, right? And the additional $5,000 is for the buffer that you want to keep, because the second it goes below 25K, it usually does not allow you to day trade. But if you are outside the country, you don't have that rule. So you can start with as minimum as you want to, but keep in mind, you'll not be able to buy enough shares, even though like with the stock, because end of the day, you're trading in the US stock market. You should be able to buy, if you start with the 5K, you get a buying power of, let us say, 20K. And but start small, and that small move could be a big in the other world outside US, because yes, countries in Asia, countries in they like even $100 a day. It's a huge huge turnout. So coach, yeah, I use Epic Pen. So then I calculate my max loss depending 1.5 times of my average win days. Oh man, PLTR is just rallying. No, 125 was a great buy after it broke out, all-time high. What has been my biggest loss? Around 150K. Lambo giveaway today. Uh, and again, like dollar value doesn't, uh, everybody has a different account. Everybody, and I love that example for what I don't know where did I hear this, but there was this race at school. It's a 400-meter race, okay? And the kids are asked to come to the starting point. One kid was uh, given from the starting point, from the start point. The second kid was given a 100-meter upstart, a head start. The other kid was given a 50-meter head start. And the fourth kid was given a 200-meter head start. And the parents were so furious, like how, like that's not fair. Like how is it fair that you do not give the head start to these the same kids? And the idea was to give them or help them explain that nobody in life gets you the same start. It also, somebody can come from a very uh, you know underprivileged background, and the place where you get there is what that matters. A other person can come from a very privileged background and things like had everything on their plate, and then you want to see where did you get your head start from, and then where do you go. So it's about comparison of you with yourself, because every single person gets a different head start. So always ask yourself, where was I and where I am? And that's where I think it's a good comparison, because you want to be the better version of yourself. Then compare yourself and get into that zone of, how much the other person made. Andrew is making 100K, Avi is making like for 200K, 300K, and I'm making only 5K. And that's, it's always you want to judge. I was making $100, $50, $5 a day, and I have grown from there. And uh, given your age, given your experience, given your things, and I am very happy with the progress that I've made. I want to keep growing, but if I start comparing with all the other folks who, how much their portfolio is, how much their sign is, then it's just going to add a little more anxiety to yourself. So yeah, that's food for thought. Yeah, 6, 7 years for me, AG. And as a matter of fact, 3.5 years I did not make a single penny. I lost money. So 3.5 years I was losing money. Yeah, Tesla is choppy. And then that's why the Tesla was no trade zone for me. What is Nvidia doing? Yeah, same thing, 130. You see this? This is a no trade zone. This is why we were talking about that this is not the area to get in or get out. So big wrestler, I think, so how do you know you are growing? If you don't compare yourself, how do you know that you are growing in your career, you're growing in your relationship, growing in your spirituality, growing in your thing? You can have certain criterias for it. For example, like the physical fitness is there are quantitative factors that you can do. Trading, you can give a quantitative factors. Psychological level, you can give a quantitative factors. Uh, what are the things that you can do to keep that 1% better every day? Relationships and spirituality and all of that, it's a gray area because sometimes you can't quantify a lot of things. And when you start quantifying things, it tends to become that, uh, for example, let us say you want to get better in relation. You can quantify the fact that, okay, these many number of dates I'm going to go in a month or something. Because then it becomes very, um, what do you call, uh, just to make the comparison of you're doing it for the reason of doing it and not wanting to do it, then it's a different conversation of being in a relationship, right? So it's there are gray areas, but there are areas that you can actually quantify on. And I think trading has that area where you can quantify yourself on the growth, and then uh, the what do you call, the physical fitness you can quantify on, uh, and then spirituality and all of those. I do believe in this, but the problem with the spiritual being of it is that uh, the second you start quantifying things in terms of spirituality or trying to get better, the idea of being spiritual is to leave your ego. And the second you get into quantifying that, okay, these are the books that I've read, these are the things that I've done, and these are the things that uh, the ego starts building up, and that becomes a gray area of not being able to quantify. So, idea of being spiritual is to keep uh, it's a never-ending process, and this is it's the second you start quantifying it, you're not gonna do it. So you have to surrender to be able to be more spiritual. So you have to surrender to the environment you are in. Today, Tesla, yes, I'm trading, but the way spirituality helps me is that I have to surrender on how much of a move it's gonna give me. All I have to do is do the right thing of trading, but then I have to surrender on how much money I have to make. So being able to surrender is a difficult thing, and I think spirituality in that area has helped me with trading as well, because I am not very at the open. I'm not here to say I'm gonna make 5 grand, 7 grand, 10 grand a day. I'm just here to surrender myself of doing the right thing and let the market gods tell me or give me how much whatever it wants to give me on that day. I'm here to just do the right thing, follow my setup, and follow my trade plan. Ben, yeah, yeah. So yeah. PLTR to 128, guys. Not there to stop. What is UNH? UNH will be trying to sell off. And this is a stock that is gonna be weak all day. This is not a stock that would like people were gonna be buying. PLTR, like Nvidia, is gonna be strong all day. Nvidia is that stock that would try to be holding that position, but it's strong. Like by the end of the day, it would rally and maybe close at above 131, 132 area. So PLTR strong all day, and the big buyers are trying to get in. This area held 123, held 125, held break of all-time high goes to 130. Yeah, thank you, Ben, and thank you, Sasa. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, Ian, it takes time. Be patient. Yeah, chop up, down on Nvidia, Tesla, let's chop. But the more it holds here, I want to see it claim 322. If it claims 322, then I'll think about longing it. Oh, nice, Matrix. No, Wahid, I don't trade all day. I usually trade until 11, 9:30 to 11. There's sometimes when I'm on YouTube from 11 to 12, I'll take it, but I'll close out after 12. I even switch off my system. I don't even sit around it. Oh, Ivory, I have a long way to go. Not even close to where peak is. And I have a long way to go, even though I'm gonna be 90 or 95-year old. There is so many things in the stock market. It's not just growing. Uh, I want to learn, get into options, futures, uh, crypto. There's so much to learn. The only thing I'm good at for now is day trading equities and a little bit of income trading on options. And there is so much more to improve upon. Even in the equity side of it, I want to get better. I want to like I started as a $5 a day. I'm at 5K a day. I want to go to 50K a day. So it's a process. It will come eventually, but you have to stick to that process. But for me, uh, like when I looked at uh, like what in my life, what do I want to see in what do you call like that provides me contentment that this is the place I want to achieve uh to be content about it. Some people have like 100K job salary. For me, it was 100K a month, and and that was the goal that I wanted to achieve, and have that consistent 100K a month. So I'm not there yet, but that's what I'll think that 100K a month is decent for my standard of. I'm not like a crazy spender or anything. I don't have like very expensive taste or anything. I even like Chipotle. I like Kava. Uh, I do not get why people spend so much money on these Michelin star restaurants and all of that. I don't get it. I'm never full in those Michelin star restaurants. I always hungry. I have to grab something from outside if I go to Michelin star. And I don't appreciate the like I don't have that understanding of appreciating the taste and the beauty of it. I'm sure a lot of people do, but I do not, unfortunately. So I'm very happy eating uh the basic. Yeah, and I don't get it. Like it's unfortunate. Like I don't un There are few things I don't understand. There are few things I acknowledge I don't understand. One is art. I do not understand art. The reasons, the how things sell, the paintings, the everything, I do not get it. And uh I do not get music instruments. Like I appreciate music, but I do not get music instruments and stuff, and I do not get the food thing. So, and I accept it. Like I that's me. Means, of course, like I know drums and I know things, but I don't. You know, yeah, I don't know how to like people understand the notes, people understand the okay, this is the different kinds of notes. I don't get it. Like I've never been exposed to it. I've never been uh there are different ways of okay, this sounds great and this is that beat and this is that beat. People talk about beats all the time. I don't get it for some reason. I enjoy it, of course, but uh yeah, I can dance. People who came to Colombia and people who know me well, they know. Uh, yeah, Lan, I think I agree. And that's like trading is art too. And of course it is. But when we talk in the general art terms, right, like the paintings and the drawings and all of that, it's that I'm referring to that. And that's a uh, It doesn't matter, Wahid. Like, how does that matter? I do a lot of trading and I do a lot of consulting. I do a lot of I was doing mentoring. I have other businesses. I have rental income coming in. So I have other income sources. So it doesn't matter. That's the thing that I was talking about, like the version of yourself. My money, my income is not gonna do anything to you. It's not gonna change any life for you. I absolutely agree. As it's a self-expression, and I do enjoy music, and I like going to concerts and everything, but I just don't understand it. Some yeah, Lan, going through some personal stuff, so not gonna start until that personal stuff is taken care of. Going through a divorce. So once that is done, I will think about it. Oh, man. PLTR is now pulling back. Then uh oh wow, 21 years. Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Rally before the close. I do not see a rug pull scenario anywhere. Maybe it holds the VWAP and holds the on the SPY, but I don't see a reason the stock should not rally at the close or chop at the high. I don't. The chances of selling off on the market is low, very low. Yeah, I'm very happy with the way situation is right now, Pick. I just want to be over with it. I have it ready. I'm just not launching it, Lance. So okay, so Tesla is actually coming back up. Tesla is actually breaking that 322 level. That actually broke the 322 level. So Tesla also came with volume too. So let's see what it does here. No Matrix, no kids, and that's a good thing, to be honest. I'm in Virginia, close to DC. So let's see if Tesla gives us an opportunity. I don't want to get in, but if it does give us an opportunity, I wouldn't mind taking it. It's only 1 minute before I have a hard stop. In that 1 minute, will it give us a chance? Let's see. Yeah, me Taz, I have a very similar. I used to believe it, but now I don't. Oh, thank you, Lan. So let's see if Tesla is gonna give us a chance. I wanna see a little bit of flush below 322 and see how it holds there. Okay, I think it's top of the hour. I'm gonna just keep it clean. Okay, guys, have a great rest of the day. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.